than any other player by far, but Classic took down Dark in GSL last month, so we will see how his PVZ is here against Solar. Okay. So, top right of Alcyone. And a best of 5. It's going to be Classic.
And in the bottom left, representing Team Vitality, it is Solar. As Falcon already mentioned, the great Afreeca World player.
Yeah, it's like if you want to bet on Afreeca World and Solar's involved, just put money on Solar. Like, he's probably going to win it. His win rate in this thing is nuts. And it's hilarious. That's what Solar does. His offline winning percentage in, like, really good tournaments against great players is insanely good. He just hasn't been able to put it together in premier tournaments and online events and you know, in-person events. I think I said that backwards, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, not as consistently at least.
Right,
He's won a couple of offline events that are notable. I believe he's won a GSL, is he not, at this point?
Oh, that's true. He did get his GSL.
Finally.
Oh, how did I forget that? I'm so embarrassed.
But still, like, his online versus offline, he's probably one of the players with a bit more of a discrepancy.
100%. Anyway, yeah, we like him a lot, and he's real scary if you have to come up against him in an Afreeca World for sure.
Yeah, now I am wondering what the builds are going to be today between these two. I was thinking about this matchup before we got into it. I was thinking, all right, a PVZ, there's potential we may see some carriers or Stargate play from Classic.
Yeah.
At the same time, he is the Protoss who popularized the 2-base charge all-in.
Oh, it's a good point. And every time a Protoss starts doing that, and I'm like, this isn't going to work, then it works. So we'll see. We'll see if Solar can see what Classic is doing by scouting and then prepare for it adequately. So Stargate opening here from Classic. Does not preclude 2-base charge lot all-in, but we will see.
Lings chase this scouting probe away.
Yeah, probe's probably going to die. Warp Gate, an adept in production for scouting purposes. And yeah, man, did you watch those classic Dark games in GSL group stages?
I don't believe I saw them. I watched a good chunk of GSL, but I must have missed those ones.
Okay, so just what's tricky about it is that Classic, you would think he beat Dark. Holy crap, what did he do? And it's like, well, he went hybrid Sky Toss. Like, he made Carriers and Void Rays and had some Immortals and Archons and High Templar on the ground. And Dark was just like, bleh. So, like, I want to say it speaks more about Dark's state. Because his wife was expecting their first kid. His kid was born after Dark got eliminated from GSL. So I don't know. I've talked about this with Somicron, and Somicron just seems to think that Dark's state of mind was distracted. He was really, you know, worried about this upcoming birth, and that just kind of knocked him off his game.
Yeah, probably a little bit. Dark at the same time is one of those, like, if you're to go late game Sky Toss against a Zerg to have it work, I feel like Dark isn't a bad one to go against because he's so aggressive. And that kind of plays into Sky Toss a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like, and anyway, on that, Dark did pop off at an online tournament like 12 hours after he posted his kit on Twitter, by the way. Like, he was in the finals of a KSL like 12 hours after he posted his kit on Twitter, so.
God, what a madman. Gotta love him.
I'm not too worried about his form. Not that Dark's playing today. But,
no. But in the relation of PVZ featuring Classic, right?
Yeah.
That's why I bring it up. So it's going to be at least 3 Oracles here. 4 drones go down. Queen's not quite in position to stop it, and both Oracles make it out. Absolutely insane. Here comes some Adepts. They're not going to get Resonating Glaives or anything, but they're here to cause some issues. That's a finished Shade.
Yeah,
some
that's
more
an
drones
early
being
Adept
added.
attack.
It is, and I think all these Adepts are going to die with the Queen and the Ling combination here. Maybe one of them's gonna shade out. Maybe two managed to shade out. Oh, they shaded into the
natural.
Dude, we are just sacking these Adepts.
God, yeah, and I think it's worth it because that is 12 drones dead,
12.
8 from the Adepts on top of the Oracles. And that is a lot of early game damage to Zerg. And it's one of those StarCraft things, like, Solar was not expecting an attack at that timing. Usually Protoss will go 30 seconds or a minute later if they commit on in with, say, the third Oracle.
Yeah.
Instead, Classic just got those Adepts across the map as soon as he could.
Crazy. He's moving into Blink here with a Roach Warren coming up from Solar. So Solar is not quite Raynor-esque in the ability to absorb drone losses and make it seem like nothing happened. That's kind of Raynor's superpower. But, and I thought the Zergs have kind of learned from Raynor, basically been able to absorb losses. Like, Solar's at 63 workers here at 5 minutes, which isn't terrible, honestly, despite all of the drone losses that he took. So, I mean, he's just repopulating like Zerg can do. He needs to saturate those gases. You got the drones for it, man. Let's toss it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see as he does get saturated up. I am a little bit worried about the tech here from Solar. He doesn't have a Baneling Nest or anything else like that out. It's going to be pure Roach Ling up against Classic, who's going to be able to pump Blink Stalkers here. So we'll see if the Protoss can bully a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, with the Oracles, it's not quite hero style. It's not like 5, 6, 7 Oracles. It's only the 3, but it is very much gateway supported by Oracle.
Yeah, and there's already 16 Blink Stalkers out for Classic. That is an absurd amount. I love that Solar's trying to backstab Classic, but Classic's just segmented off the perfect amount of Stalkers to stay at home and defend. He's going to get an attack off with the rest of his units. Oracle's tossing down Stasis Wards. Stalkers en masse. This is just a ridiculous amount of Protoss early on. Like, by gosh, 22 Blink Stalkers at the 7-minute mark for the Protoss.
It is. It's almost like something you do in a PvT. Show up with a ton of Blink Stalkers at the front door of the Terran and just try to blink in there and take them down.
Yeah.
But this is very much going well. They do bonus damage to Roaches. Bonus versus Armored here. Some Ravagers would really help. A bunch of Speedlings would be super nice too. But it looks like we're just kind of sticking with Roach. No, a couple of Ravagers are coming in. Queen's transfusing pretty well. The top of the ramp is going to help here. The Blink Micro is insanely good, but what else do you expect from Classic?
Yeah, really. Classic is just bringing the aggression hard on his opponent. I was looking at the timings on this, and I think part of the reason why this hit so early is there's no Forge behind this or there actually is a Forge, pardon me. There's already +1 with this. My gosh.
That's really useful here. Yeah, +1 missile attack just got started from Solar to show you what's going on here. So yeah, Ravagers with their extra range and extra DPS. Corrosive Biles, there you go, catching a Stalker there. But yeah, Ravagers are going to be really, really good here. Much better against than Roaches are going to be. Not really. Oh, there you go. 14 more Speedlings getting added in. Centrifugal Hooks coming in. A Ling Run by does make it deep into the main base here of Classic. Warping in a few Stalkers to deal with this. Seems like it's enough. Couple Zealots in the natural base in case they run down there. Oracles come in, target firing the Ravagers directly. That is going to be their goal. And once the Ravagers are gone, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems Solar's doing a really good job holding the top of this ramp. Those Oracles all got killed off. The Stalkers are being forced back. It's only 24 Stalkers on the map for Classic, and the trades have been on par at best for the Protoss, whereas you really need to be whittling down the Zerg, and Solar just doesn't seem to be breaking yet. Classic is going to keep trying. A couple of Zealots added in the mix this time to help buffer for his units. He needs to break the Zerg here, though.
Yeah, he's not making any progress, is what you're worried about if you're a Classic fan here, right? He's not getting in and sniping hatches. He's not whittling down the army enough. It's just Solar sitting on 67 workers, massing Speedlings, Roaches, Ravagers, but Classic's on 4 bases.
Yeah,
and he can just endlessly reinforce here.
Adding in the 4th is really nice for Classic. It's going to allow him to continue this aggression on as long as he feels comfortable. I will say, though, he is eating a lot of Corrosive Biles as this fight's going on.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Oh my gosh.
There's the blink in, though. That's usually an indication you think you've got it, but he immediately backs down.
Yeah, no, he did not have that. I guess Classic getting a little bit fed up, but all of a sudden, look at the supply. Solar, he's ahead almost 40 army supply, and that's really showing. He's got Banelings on the way now. He's squeezing out a Hive. And Yeah, really, really solid defense by the Zerg. Classic is going to try and rotate down, catch the Zerg out of position. If he can snipe this hatchery, that will be a big deal.
Can he? No, the response of Solar, just 2 on top of it here. Classic's trying to win this thing without splash damage, which you can do in the first 10 to 12 minutes, but the longer this game goes on, the harder it's going to be for Classic to slam the door here. He's getting charged, which kind of counts as splash, sort of. But he needs Disruptors, he needs Colossus, he needs something beyond this whole Stalker Zealot thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Robo coming up sometime soon, or a Templar Archives, maybe even both. Classic is going for a 5th base behind this. Solar scouts out the 4th, and he says, wow, we're really just... you're really just doing this, eh? 5 base Protoss, mass blink charge. Probes,
Yeah,
deal with the Zergling, pardon me.
Nice. Who does Classic? You're a madman. Who does this? Honestly, Adrenals coming in. That's going to be huge for Solar against this comp.
And the
Adrenalings, yeah, they've got speed. They've got +1 attack. Now the defender is on the other side, being the aggressor here. Classic finds himself on the back foot. He's firing up a Robo. Pretty good Blink Micro against those Banelings.
Yeah, I think that was okay. Solar was hoping to get a bunch of probe kills there, I believe, but Classic intercepted. And that Robo, as you said, does finish up.
Yeah, we're going to fire up a Bay here. Not yet. I'm waiting for it. I really think it would help. There it is. Robotics Bay coming in. Almost 12 minutes, though. That's kind of nuts.
This is just... I guess part of the reason why Classic has had so much stuff this game is because he's been on 4 gases. He hasn't taken a gas at his 3rd yet, and we're 12 minutes into the game. He's a Protoss player, so that's kind of unusual.
Definitely. But yeah, it's because he's not going super gas-heavy units like Disruptors or Colossus. It's just Stalker's Zealot. Maybe a couple sentries in there, too. Ling Bane making a sneaky run buy-in. And we'll let the Banelings handle you, Senor Zealot. No! Sniping down the shield battery here at the 3rd base. And Zealot trying to hold the line. Banelings are not interested in trying to engage there. A hatch does go down. And then Classic recalls back to defend. Yep, defend this. Where did he go? Oh, to the gold base with the recall. It's 126 to 80 army supply. Solar is on the rampage. His adrenal is done. He says, fear me, Stalkers.
Oh, and a beautiful surround. The Stalkers can just kind of blink by those Zerglings, though. And we do have those 2 Disruptors on the way. I feel like just because of all the Lings that Solar is producing, Classic may want a couple Colossus behind these 2 Disruptors.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with Extended Thermal Lance, which is not being researched right now. But more and more, just a couple more Disruptors getting added into the mix here. Classic's going to need some killer Disruptor hits if he's going to win this game from this point.
Yeah, we'll see if he has the stuff or not. Solar's attacking in before the rest of those Banelings finish morphing. There comes down the first Disruptor. Does it fire its Nova in time?
No!
Solar sees it and targets it down as Classic was late on pulling the trigger. Banelings from behind
GG.
delete most of the Stalkers, and I think you are right on that.
That's it. That flank attack was the end. GG. Solar gets game 1. Woo! Aggressive. One word.
Yeah, that was just nutty for our first
map.
That was redonkulous.
Super redonkulous. I mean, yeah, I just think Classic got stuck on non-splash damage units way for too long there. And trying to attack up a ramp into a base that Solar has. It's creeped. He's on Roach Tech already. I don't know. I don't know what we were trying to do there if we were Classic, but I think he should have recognized what he was up against, backed out, thrown up the Robo Bay a lot sooner, gone into some Colossus, maybe some High Templar, some Storm would have been awesome there, because the Disruptors were way too late. And then the first Disruptor he's got, he walks it up to the front, doesn't fire it, it gets focused down, and then that's it. I mean, yeah, not the greatest game one there from Classic, but it's the first game.
Yeah.
So it's not over yet.
I was impressed by how much that... I was really impressed by how much that he was able to produce.
Yeah. Both players, honestly. I mean, yeah, just you talked about the production of Classic based on the fact he only had, a few gases. And then Solar is able to macro that hard, especially after losing 12 drones in the first 5 minutes. He's just like, we're good. We're back up to 66, 67, 70 workers. We're happy. We're chill. We can definitely hold here. I mean, I'm sure he felt, I would say he felt stressed there just based on the amount of stalkers that kept showing up. But in the end, he handled it like a boss. So game 2 is going to be here on Ghost River, which we talked about this map last Afreeca. We like it. I like it. I think it's appropriately thematically designed to be kind of spooky and fun.
Yeah. And this is Classic's map pick, so we'll see how it affects him. The top left, he represents Twisted Minds. Classic.
Twisted. And in the top right, it is Solar. Playing for Team Vitality.
A small, totally random thing that most people won't notice, but it seems that at some point either Windows, OBS, or Discord updated so that I no longer have to keep Discord up on a monitor for the cameras to show.
Oh.
I don't know when that happened, but anyway, that is very nice.
Wow. That's very interesting. Huh. All right. Well, two-player map, top left versus top right, which is really fun. Big fan of two-player maps that are situated this way. Gives us weird stuff. And the players don't generally like them, but, this is the second game chosen in a best of 5, so if both players hated it, we wouldn't be seeing it.
Yeah. Yeah, particularly with the map pool that's now 9 maps large, which is wonderful.
Yeah, that is nice. Lots of variety. Lots of things the players can choose from. They're not just going to veto the same maps and are stuck with the same ones. So that's awesome. All right. Well, nothing too crazy here from Solar. Looks like a 1 gate expand timing from Classic. Cybercore coming down at the right time. Second gas. He's oversaturating his first gas, which seems like a bit of a rookie mistake. But I'm sure he'll fix that shortly. Classic. Classic, buddy. Yay.
There
You got
we
it.
go.
All right. So there's your second gas. He's got 2 pylons staring at that thing that's warping in. I guess that Classic, dude. Come on. You're on TV. I'm sure he'll be fine. Totally fine. All right. So Solar is making 4 lings. Traditional. 2 queens. Traditional. Let's see if he wants to fire up a third base sometime in the next 10 seconds or not. Third base. Pretty normal for a Zerg on this map. Map Maker does not hate the Zergs and make their third base terrible.
He wants it, and there's the pylon block.
Nice.
I guess the map maker does kind of hate the Zergs because there is only 1 location to expand to, really.
Oh, that's true. Only 1/3 available. That's a good point.
Yeah, I feel like that's really rare these days, right?
Yeah, definitely. I can't think of another map where you don't have that option, so good call. I mean, some of the team maps are just horrendous for third bases for Zergs, but that's normal.
You play more team games than I do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's ridiculous. Some of these maps are like, here's your third base. It's 8 miles from your main. Good luck. And you're like, thanks.
I mean, to be fair, it is team games, so...
It is, but there are plenty of maps where you get a third base in a reasonable position as Zerg. I know it's not easy, because you're accounting for so many different players, but man. Misty, what is it called? Misty Swamp, I think is what it's called. It's, each team kind of expands down the left side or the right side.
Okay.
And so, yeah, like, if you want to take a third base as a Zerg... Oh, there's the thing. Either you take a third base that's 9 miles away south, or there's this really nice expansion right up here, but it's got rocks at it. So you're like, oh, okay, you really hate Zerg.
I feel like Zerg probably gets the short end of the stick in team games anyway, right?
Yeah, they do.
Just because they can't turtle the carriers or whatnot.
Right.
Like creep
That's
spread
okay.
is a big problem in team games too, so.
That's all right, though. It's kind of nice just playing a style where you're just making a lot of fast units.
Yeah.
Just running around, sniping bases that aren't adequately defended, and
Team games are a hoot, that's for sure.
definitely.
Okay, Classic going for what is a 2016 build, Resonating
Yeah.
Glaive Adepts.
Yeah, seriously. Got the Robo, he's got the War Prism. And I used to say you couldn't do this with only Lings and Queens, but I guess there's Roaches here anyway. So Roaches are here, Solar's going to be fine. Not even worried about it. Huh.
Yeah, like Solar is making nothing but units. Unless he makes a massive positioning mistake, he should be fine. Adepts do shade into the main base, but there's like 6 Roaches there to greet them. They're targeting down those Adepts very quickly. And Classic gets 5 drones so far. He's warping in Adepts to multiple locations. So he's got Adepts in the main base. He's warped some in at the 3rd. He's now going to shade them to the natural. Maybe he can do some Prism shenanigans to get those to the main. Solar positions his Queens well, so can he get more damage done? It doesn't look like it.
No, this is not a good execution. I mean, here's the thing. You can execute this perfectly as Protoss, but if Zerg's ready for it, you're done. There's nothing you can do about it. That's exactly what happened. Solar was ready. He read it. He had the Roaches, and you just try to get what you can if you're Classic, but there's just no room for you to do as much damage as you hoped. And then, run by. Oh my gosh. Alright, well, at the very least, you get a perfect scout off. At the most, you get a few probe kills, and yeah, a couple probes go down. Warp Prism into the main base of Solar, but, I mean, yeah, we're not going nuts with this. We're not going to commit more to this than we already have. Alright, so, yeah, it's 46 to 22 army supply. I think Solar might just be able to kind of walk across the map and win.
Maybe. It's 41 to 41 workers, so Solar isn't in a great economic position. And the pressure could be on him to attack across the map. However, it is a Protoss that does have 2 Immortals and a Prism. So you gotta be careful.
And he's got a Robo Bay coming in here too. Some disruptors would be nice against what Solar's rocking right now. Dude, War Prism coming back in. Nobody expects the 3rd time coming back into your main.
Oh, I love this. The 2 Adepts shading in from the back as all the units reposition to deal with the ones in the main. This is where Protoss can get their damage done. 2 dead drones. Solar does pull his drones quite quickly. Solar is chasing down the Prism still, losing a couple drones here and there. 5 drones all in all. That's pretty good for Classic.
Yeah, this is sneaky. I like it. I like it a lot. 5 more drones die. It's 61 drones to 53 probes. Army value for Solar is still massive, but his army's chasing this War Prism around.
Yeah, this Prism is just so bold. Oh my gosh, he unloads on the high ground, gets a drone, I think it was. Now maybe gonna get a couple more.
Then the pickup. Remember they increased the pickup range on Warp Prisms? Protoss rejoice.
Oh, remember when it was just 1-to-1? Like, 1 up, 1 down? That was beautiful.
All right. I don't know. I just feel like if you don't do as much as you want to with a resonating Adept all in, you're gonna have a bad time. And I understand Classic's trying to squeeze this out, get as much damage as Protossly possible on these Adepts, who, by the way, have got to have some kills, right? Like, not 40, but I mean, surprising numbers. We'll see next time they unload. We'll try to get them. Those Adepts shade in. Do not immediately die. All right, man. So Classic says, Disruptor play this game much better. Hard to do worse than what we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, the Disruptors in game number 1 were very short-lived. Somehow Adepts make it into the main.
Taking some hits. 5 kills on that 1 Adept. Ah, they both die? I wanted to get the other one. They did. They both died. All right. Regardless, here comes a bunch of Stalkers, Immortals, Sentries, Disruptors, Extended Thermal Lance, and Colossus. So Classic's like, yeah. Went back and listened to your comments in Game 1, Laughing Games and Falcon, and this is what we're going to do. Going to get all of the splash damage. It'll be
Yeah.
glorious against this Roach Ravager stuff.
It better be good splash damage, because Solar just fired up 44 Banes. Make that 47 Banes, because apparently 44 wasn't enough.
Man, Adepts. Solar's like, you're supposed to be done with this. This War Prism's all happy. Bajillion slow banelings waddling around, even on creep. This Warp Prism is the MVP of this match. I cannot believe how live it is. But Solar says, Baneling speed's done. That means it's time to go.
Do you think you could put a bootleg on a Baneling to stop it rolling?
Like a boot?
Yeah, boot.
Like for traffic violation?
Yeah.
Probably. Ah, it's not the force fields you were looking
Oh,
for!
but the disruptor hits were what he was looking for.
Not bad. Also, nothing's here. I don't know. Nothing here's great for Baneling connections if you're Zerg. I mean, you want to get clumped up stalkers and stuff, sure. But that disruptor, God, 2 Ravagers die. It is bloody, but I think Classic held that.
That was
yeah,
a
he did.
slaughter of the Zerg army. By gosh.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff died there for Classic, too, in all fairness. But yeah, resources lost 10,000 to 7,000. Classic is up on that. And by up, I mean he's lost less.
Yeah,
But he's adding more Colossus in. He's adding upgrades. It's more Roaches, Ravagers, and Banelings from Solar. We're going to keep trying this. Some Vipers, I think, would be a good addition here for the Zerg.
Yeah, Classic got extended Thermal Lance done, well, or hasn't started extended Thermal Lance, pardon me, but he did keep that one other Colossus alive. Templar Archives, 4th base, happily mining away. Solar is going to try and attack that now. There is a cannon and 2 batteries to defend that. Much more static defense going up as well.
Little Ling run by here, but 2 shield batteries and a cannon. Tough for them to get any much done if they don't have that adrenal.
Here we go, though. Is Classic on point with his disruptors?
Yes, pretty good connections there. Not world-ending, but pretty great nevertheless. Banelings are hunting, but there's not a lot for them to do here. Colossus does get taken down by sheer Roach Ravager, which is hard to do with that War Prism overhead. The shuttling wasn't all that good. A Disruptor goes down. Corrosive Vials are making some connections here. And suddenly, Solar's somewhat holding. Falls back. Tries to get what he can. Ling's rallying in, but just kind of trickling. 16 more Roaches in production. And once again, the Zerg player is held off of this position. Classic is taking his lumps, though.
Yeah. The Zerg is on very basic tech, very basic upgrades still. He's just getting +1 attack for his Roaches. He had +1 melee the whole time. While this is going on, though, the Protoss is getting 3-2, which will be a ginormous upgrade lead if he survives until then. Losing those 2 Colossus was quite a bummer. He's got Archons warped in now, though. We'll see if he can survive the next round. It's not going to be easy, as Solar is very determined to get the kill here.
Yeah, he's not teching up. He's not going Hive. He's not getting those Vipers. He's just like, this is all I need. It's very simple.
No,
basically
man.
tier 2 Zerg, and let's go.
Here goes the Zerg rolling
See?
on in.
The Archon stepped forward to absorb the Bane shots. Nice target
wow.
firing there. Whoa! And then he's like, not enough. I'm out.
Nope.
And Classic wins on defense.
The Archons
Fantastic.
didn't die, so the battery would have healed them. And
Yep. Yeah, I really think that was some ill-advised continuing to go in there from Solar. He really needed a couple of Vipers. Obviously, for Abduct would have been killer there. Would have just made all the difference in the world. But yeah, nice job by Classic. Going into those Colossus, they definitely paid for themselves. The Disruptor shots were magnificent. And that's the difference, man. That's the difference between winning a PvZ and losing a PvZ is pretty much those things. The early Adept Harass, the all-in, it's not really an all-in, right? Because it didn't win and he still won the game later. But yeah, killed a bunch of workers. It was fantastic. Just kept going back with his Adepts and all was well.
yeah, thanks so much to everyone for tuning in today to Afreeca World 113. We appreciate it. Make sure you guys go ahead and press that 1-up button while you are watching. And check out the Matcherino as well. You can add dollars to the prize pool for free by just clicking that claim code button. Our event seems to be a little bugged in which we have 2 claim code buttons, so you can actually use both of those.
Oh, that's cool. And as always, you can log into Matcherino with 18 different things, and I'm not even sure if all of them are around anymore. But the options are there, nevertheless. LaughNgamez is logging in with Twitter, also known as X. Because Elon Musk once wanted a company called X. And he never got one, but now he does. So neat.
Yeah, that wasn't the best business move, but, you know.
I don't think so. I really just think it was, 21-year-old Elon being like, I want a company called X one day. And then 50-year-old Elon being like, hey, that never happened. I own this company. Let's go.
Yeah, and the value of it has plummeted.
Yep. But hey, it was worth it. He living out his dream, I guess. I don't even know. Doesn't really matter. All right. Hey, you're welcome for broadcasting well. We do our best. Okay, so 1-1, best of 5, game 3, site Delta, team vitality. Bottom right here is everybody's favorite Afreeca participant. It's Solar.
Yeah. And in the top left, it's Classic.
Classic.
He's representing Team Twisted, which is fitting because you got to be a little bit twisted to be a Protoss player.
That's true. Man, there was so much hope for them in the last GSL. Hero was in the semifinal. Stats was in the semifinal.
Yeah.
Then they had to play each other, which was unfortunate. But
yeah.
when's the last time we had 2 Protoss in the semifinal of a GSL?
Oh,
honestly,
a long time.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean,
So, hope.
yeah, all it took was Stats and Hero being around at the same time.
Yeah, it's true. Stats is back, man. He's back.
Yeah, and Trap is coming out of military service at the end of this month, I believe.
Oh, that's good.
I believe he was retiring, though, and not coming back, he said, but I'm sure lots of pro players have said that before they came back, so.
Yeah, right? I do say things. Did you switch the scene, or is my stream way behind?
I think your stream is behind.
Okay, good. All right. Oh, it is. I should refresh. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Hero was doing so well, and then Maru was just like, no, you're not.
I think I watched like the first game of that, or the first 2 games of it, and then I went to bed or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah,
not
nothing
surprising.
about the first 2 games made you feel like, ooh, I should watch the rest of this.
Not surprising that Maru won, so.
No.
What was that? How many GSLs has he won now?
Like 8.
Yeah, so. Rogue's back now, though, so.
Yeah, wait, he is?
Yep, Rogue.
Already?
He was playing in a show match on Afreeca, done by the formerly Alpha X group.
Okay, well, that's nice.
So for all those Protoss and Terran players that thought they were going to get a break from Zerg dominance now that Cyril's gone, Rogue's back, so
You
good
just
luck with
tagged
that
in.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in military in Finland, there are some rumors that Cyril might just be able to compete anyway. Like, I don't know that they're as strict about it as Korea is.
Yeah, I believe he had like a pass or something to allow him to play. Honestly, from the seam of it from Cyril, like, he hasn't said that he's like not looking forward to military service. It seems like something that he's just looking forward to do. Well, not necessarily looking forward to do, but not begrudging. Maybe he welcomes the break after being the top pro Starcraft player for 5 years now or something.
Yeah, it's true. It's been a while. I like the adept standing right under the overlord. What's up? I'm an
He's
adept.
like, please don't start pooping.
Just waiting for a friend. Don't mind me. Didn't finish the shade. Ooh. No, we don't lose both of the adepts. Not even trying to surround it. Solar's just like, I don't know. This is just not even... Wow. He
That
didn't even
is
try
no
to
good.
surround it, and he killed it anyway. What the heck?
Yeah, I mean, Solar's gonna lose a drone.
2, but all of the HP on that poor Oracle. That's not coming back anytime soon.
Am I just misunderstanding the matchup timings or something? Because, like, it's 40
is
probes
classic
to 30
Doom?
right now.
Uh-huh.
I guess Solar will just be droning up now that he's taking care of that. Maybe he made a couple more lings earlier than usual. Yeah, yeah, I think he might have had a couple more lings.
He did. But not really going to get a lot done, unfortunately. I mean, your ability to get up there... Nice probe snipe, though. It's just you're not denying a third base with Lings as Zerg anymore, unless you commit to a ton of Lings, which is stupid. The Protoss had just figured out how to safely take that third, really no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, Solar firing up 6 more drones. He's doing fine. He's doing great.
Yeah, I was thinking about our upcoming matchup with NightMare versus Kier. Kier is undoubtedly the favorite. And I was thinking, and I'm like, what is NightMare going to be able to do to stop the 3 racks?
Ooh, right?
And it's kind of the same situation. It's like, what can Zerg really do in the early game?
To prevent a third, you can't. You have to commit so much to possibly killing that third base. It's just not worth it. I have not seen... Yeah, not enough queens to defend there. 4 more drones go down to the Oracle. Super injured Oracle makes it out too.
Yeah,
living life on the edge.
That's a healthy amount of damage for the Protoss already. Classic may just be better at keeping these Adepts alive.
No way he finishes that. Okay, yeah. Falling out. Going Blink again. He's like, I can do it. I can do this Blink stuff. It'll work this time. I don't know. I still think you had better luck with the earlier splash damage, but...
Yeah, I mean, he can still get out the splash damage. You are right, though. He hasn't got a Robo on the way yet.
No, not at all. Not even close. I mean, not that he can't fire it up at any point, because obviously he can, but... It's just like, dude, come on.
Oh, Templar Archives.
I like it. I'm on board. Storm counts as splash. Also, DTs are neat. Couple more drones go down. These Adepts consign themselves to their fates. The roaches are out.
Oh, nice move with the Oracles. Getting another 2 kills. That Queen, she wants vengeance, though.
She gets it.
She gets it.
She gets
Nice.
it. Very nice. All right, so Robo getting fired up here, too. Storm on the way. All right, cool. So Sonic Storm coming in. I like it. I like it a lot against this Orochi stuff that Solar seems to be favoring today. But yeah, 4th base from Classic. He's just been expanding like a madman today. This is fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4. Solar making a bit of a run up to that 4th base, trying to shut it down. Stalker's on the other side. Lings do make it up to that 12 o'clock. And what do they want? They want the guaranteed damage. They're going after the smaller things, not going to try to get the Nexus because they know something's going to respond soon. Yeah. So they got what they could.
Yeah, and Classic goes for a very early 4th base once more. The Zerg is still only on 4 bases, and it's not really saturated at all. In fact, it's a worker lead for the Protoss. Charge, Psystorm, on the way.
Yeah, I like it. I'm not going to complain about this at all. Lings again hacking away at this 4th base hilariously, but busting through. Your wall was not adequate. However, getting trapped on this ramp when Storm's available?
Yeah, and oh boy, it sure is ready. Solar has been going for a Queen walk, apparently.
I guess. Robo getting focused down here. High Templar falling back. Not enough Storm. Blink Stalkers trying to stay alive as they can here. This is actually kind of falling apart. Oh, there's a beautiful Storm, though.
Yeah,
and now
the storms are so massive. And there it is, triple Archon Morph. The Roaches are going to target down one of them before they finish. The other two are done now. There is a battery overcharge as well to keep healing them up. That shield on that Archon got so low, but it stayed alive. And that is the power of the battery overcharge kicking on in there.
Yeah. So 17 probes died, Robo went down, but no bases died. A bunch of High Templar were able to get a bunch of damage done and turn into Archons, which is going to be nice here. More Roaches, more Ravagers. Solar, again, is just anti-teching up here.
He is, and I think it may still work. He's double the supply. A bad blink by Classic. Blinking forward, not expecting all those Roaches to be there waiting for him, but they were. High Templar are building up energy, but they're not going to have the time to get there. +2 is not done for the Protoss, so his units aren't dealing as much damage as he'd like. Only one Templar remains after the rest were picked off. Oracles come on in to try and pick off some of these units as well. The Oracles will be mostly unopposed, but one's almost out of energy.
Yeah, it's not a huge fighting force here from Solar, but it's getting some work done. There's good anti-air against the Oracles now with these Queens wandering up, and it is, again, just a scratching and clawing attempt to take this base by Solar.
Yeah, battery overcharge healed that Archon up once more.
Oh, he corrosive viled that battery and didn't get the final corrosive vial, and it's still alive. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's really paying dividends for the Protoss. Both players are uneven workers, even production as a result, but Solar still ahead on army supply massively. Classic is warping in whatever he can. Looks like his +2 did finish up. The Mad Lad started +3 while this was going on.
Gotta love that.
In come more Roaches. Classic is going to have to pull back with those Stalkers. He's got a couple of Zealots warped in to try and buffer for the Roaches. There's simply so much Zerg. There's not another battery to fall back to. A couple cannons at the 4th is it for extra defense, and I don't think there's enough Protoss here.
No. Solar's like, who needs Vipers? Who needs anything in Hive Tech? Let's just go this. Roach, Ravager, and Lings. Not as many Banes this time, which I think is helping. Probes are actually trying to trap us. They wanted that Ravager so bad.
Yeah, that's it. There's not a chance for Classic, and
no. Okay, so that's going to be a 2-1 lead here from Solar. There we go. In this best of 5, Solar, one more win will get him into our grand finals, but Classic is very capable of winning these next 2 games. We saw how well he played in game number 2. So yeah, he's kind of dabbled, right? Game 1, he didn't make any splash damage. Game 2 was Disruptors and Colossus. Game 3 was just High Templar, which I think was good, but I don't know. It doesn't have the necessary, the oomph of the Disruptor shots, right? You can storm something, but Lings will die. Roaches have enough HP to survive a storm. You still have to do that, you know, that final amount of damage to kill them. Disruptors just come in and go, bam, the Roaches evaporate. So that is something that maybe we'd want to see. Maybe more Disruptor plays. We'll take a look.
yeah, we shall see. Our next map's going to be Crimson Court between these two.
Nice, nice. Should be excellent.
And yeah, I could talk about all the things that Classic did wrong in that game. I think the main thing, well, just starting +3 amidst all that. Like, that's like 2 extra Stalkers at least. 2.5.
That's true. I don't know. How much is 2 Stalkers going to help you win?
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty dead in the first place, but looks like Solar is requesting a short break, 3 minutes, he says, so we will give him that.
All right, sounds good.
And so we'll give him that, and I think we'll just throw to a quick break while he does that, if that's all right. Alright, here we are.
Crimson Court. We made it.
Yes, we did. And in the bottom left, it is Vitality's Solar. Looking to close this one out with a nice 3-1, hopefully.
Could do. Top right. He's classic, so it's classic.
Charge lot all in. Let's go, buddy.
Oh, boy.
Bust it out. Now's the time. Yeah, thanks so much to everyone for tuning in to Afreeca World 113. Doing these is always a blast. Getting to check out a couple of awesome pro players every 2 weeks or so. And if you guys want to stay up to date on those, check out Falcon Paladin and I on Twitter, on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, Twitter's the place where we definitely post in advance when these are going to be, who's going to be involved. So if you want that, you need to be on the X. Or join our Discord servers, I guess. We post information there too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Solar's pretty happy not going pool first today. I mean, the trick is you're getting probe scouted, so going pool first really doesn't have any value against Protoss.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. And if Protoss was lazy and didn't probe scout every PvZ, it'd have some value, but they do. They're not lazy, and they do. So, good job, Protoss. Keep worker scouting. Falcon approves. I really wish that Zerg would be more able to drone scout, because they would see things more easily that kill them sometimes.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it doesn't hurt them enough, I guess.
Like, in PvT, we see drone scouts, or ZVT, pardon me, we see drone scouts to like the 3rd and the 4th looking for proxy racks sometimes.
We do?
Some
Man,
Zergs
every game
do.
that I ever cast, they're like, Overlords, go. I sure hope you find something.
It's true. I was actually thinking about that. I'm like, Rogue used to scout out quite a lot for that.
Yeah, good. Except it's funny, because Rogue's, one of his superpowers is the ability to not scout a proxy at all and hold it perfectly anyway. I don't know how he does it.
It's true. And I feel like we're on one of those lulls right now in which like we're not seeing like as many proxy racks in TVZ.
That's true.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I'm with ya. And maybe they're just lulling the Zerg into a false sense of security. And like next GSL, it'll just be a ton of proxies. Yeah. I'd like it. What's up, John Solo?
Hey, John. Welcome.
But the number of times I've seen or cast a game where a rogue is like, la 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 la, 16, 18, 17, la 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 la. No overlord at his front of his natural, nothing. Doesn't see anything that's going on with the 3 racks proxy. And then like 4 Marines show up and there's a bunker and he's like, ah! Then he just wins. And you're like, what? How?
Rogue is good.
This should not be possible.
I really hope he gets back into form.
Me too. It's really encouraging that Stats is looking as good as he's looking.
I guess we may be losing Solar to the military at some point, maybe? Or does he... Maybe he has an exemption, I'm not sure.
Why would he have an exemption? How do you get an exemption?
I know that there's like various things, like, I'm not sure if Solar has a kid or not. Like, you may get out of it if you have a kid in Korea, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, though.
I won't. Here, I'll do a Google while nothing's happening here.
I know Liquipedia does have a military status for the Korean players.
Yep. Thanks to me and Somicron.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it
nice.
wasn't on there, and then we always were talking about it on the podcast. And then, bam, it showed up. Anyway, Oracle stuff doing Oracle things.
Two kills for a lot of effort, micro, and health and shields for those oracles. They're both alive, though, so that's alright.
It's all good. Yeah, looks like Korea exemption. Yeah, if you're incapable of performing military service due to any disease or mental or physical incompetence. Also, if you have, what does it say? Promoted national prestige, you can get an exemption.
Yeah, I
If
don't
you win
think that's a common one, though.
this is if you win an Olympic gold medal or something, you can do that. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Like, they weren't giving an exemption to, like, the BTS.
Right.
So I don't think StarCraft players are getting that one.
No, definitely not.
Well, I mean, like, maybe Flash would, but Flash did go to the army, so...
Yeah, if any StarCraft player would have gotten one, it would be Flash. Truth. Solar's on the other side of the map.
Yeah, he's going hard on the Lings.
Yeah, this is... I don't know if I like it from a Zerg perspective, let's be honest.
I mean, he's being a nuisance. Almost gets the Stalker.
Got it.
Does get it.
Shield battery, not enough. Incredible. Adepts on the other side getting fully surrounded by Lings, and they're all going to die.
Oracle dies, trying to charge towards the natural. Classic has made a few micro mistakes this series, I feel. Does
Certainly.
get 8 drones, though.
Yep. Not bad. Solar's got a ton of Zerglings now.
Oh,
with
he does.
+1 melee on them as well.
It's ridiculous. I wonder if Classic saw that and was like, that's a lot of Zerglings. I need to get ready for that.
Yeah, he should. That +1 attack is going to... There it is, 15 seconds. Let's go. He's got to be waiting for that to be a +1. +1 timing attack with Lings isn't really a thing. But, you know, you can do whatever you want in StarCraft. You're not beholden to the strategies everybody says are good. That's what I like. I like watching, especially in Brood War, where the game's been around for so long, and people are like, this is how you do this. And then you watch a professional tournament, and players are like, no, you don't actually have to do that. And the announcers are like, what? Just, you know, you can kind of get locked into certain things. You don't have to get locked into in StarCraft. Yeah. And that's how innovations are made, is by people just not being put into those boxes, finding new things, and then, hey, suddenly, you know, the new thing is actually a thing. Congratulations.
This just in, Solar hates rocks.
Yeah. I mean, wow, he's going through both layers? I guess this is the map where you do want access to those outsider expansions. I forgot we were here, to be honest with you. I haven't been on Crimson Court in a while. Yeah, no, Ling's not getting through those rocks. I am sorry. Stalker, Oracle, standard stuff we've seen from Classic here. Doing just fine. Baneling Nest. It's a hive! Oh my gosh, it's a hive.
Gotta get that adrenal glands, I suppose.
I suppose. That's all he's used it for today, is getting adrenal in one of these games. Fires up a Hydra Den, too. Probably some lurkers. This is a pretty good map for lurkers, I guess. I could see that.
If the game goes on long enough, and seeing as how Classic threw up a Fleet Beacon and a Stargate, I would love to see him throw up a wall on top of this ramp.
Yeah,
if he can swing it.
I don't see why not. Shouldn't be hard.
This just in, Classic hates rocks as well.
He really hates them. He kills them faster than Lings can, too, thanks to these Immortals. Alright, Adrenal getting fired up. Lurker Den on the way here, too. +2 melee is here. But, man, there are High Templar here. Storm is done. There are carriers in production. The time of the Ling is not... It's a small window here for the time of the Adrenaling.
Yeah, I think we're already past it. There's
You're probably
cannons
right.
and batteries galore on the high ground, Storm.
Yeah.
And we are going to have ourselves a late game carrier match. However, this third base is quite undefended, and as Lings and Roaches do move in there.
Yeah, like you said, walling would have been nice.
It really would have.
A little preemptive storm dodge there. Not bad by Solar. Attack on the right side, too, though. Solar sneaks up the right side, gets a cancel on and Nexus. The Classic is trying to build there. Massive stasis! Oh!
I wasn't expecting that, as Classic was the one who mined out that mineral wall.
Yeah. And Solar's like, thanks.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I find it interesting that he did that, because he broke down the rocks anyway. So it's like, did you need to do that to open yourself up more? I don't know. Anyway.
Probably not. It's a weird map, man. Weird stuff happens.
It hurts my brain. It makes me feel old. I'm like, these rocks, these extra paths, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all these.
We're getting seismic spines. Adrenal's done. It would have been nice to have for this fight, honestly, because all the lings are dead just as Adrenal finishes up.
Yeah. It would have died to Psystorm anyway, though.
Yeah, true. But they were fighting Zealots for a minute. Would have been better. All right,
like...
so Vipers are being added. As far as anti-air for these carriers goes, there are 7 Hydralisks. That doesn't seem like enough.
No.
Yeah, 2 more carriers popping. Mothership on the way. Solar's like, must use ground units before they are of no use to me. Go,
and they're going for it. Those slow Banelings are waddling on in.
He's not even trying to get centrifugal hooks. He's just like, slow Banes are good enough. All right, 18 Hydras being produced. Adaptive Talons on the way. Upgrades for the Hydra. It's going to be an abduct the carriers into the Hydra Ball maneuver here from Solar to deal with the carriers. Let's see if he can do it, folks.
I feel like Solar definitely thinks he's been researching Baneling speed.
Well, he's not, so that's bad. Kind of like this map for Viper abducts of carriers. Like right here, for example. Or not.
Solar's just charging on in towards that third base. Burrows a boatload of lurkers, so that base is going to have to be abandoned. There is big Psystorms, however, landing on the Hydras. There's just not enough to stand up against these carriers, interceptors, and Psystorm.
No.
He can retreat. He may get the Nexus, possibly.
He's getting the Nexus. Classic's abandoning it. So Nexus down.
There is no observer. That is partly why Classic abandoned that.
That's huge. I wonder if it got sniped.
He's got 2 oracles that could reveal those.
And thanks to Phoenixivore for donating $20 to the prize pool. Appreciate it, dude. Thanks to Key for keeping track of that for us. Appreciate that too. All right, so yeah, this is just a retreat situation for the Zerg. There's not enough to really do anything here. He's making more Hydras. He's getting +2/+2 for his dudes, and Classic's just making more carriers. I do not feel good about this from a Zerg perspective.
No. And
In fact, it might just kind of be done. Like, seriously, what the heck does Solar have here? Bunch of Hydras.
24
no
Hydras.
Microbial Shroud. No Vipers.
Yeah.
No obs, though. We're standing on creep with no obs. Not great. I guess the Viper is here. Once again, Solar making a march up this center pathway.
Okay, here he goes.
Here's the engagement.
There's Psystorm, though, so it's like, what do you think's going to happen to the Hydras, man? Oh, no!
Oh, massive. Time Warp going down. There's detection now. The Lurkers are getting killed. There's just not enough Zerg here at all. He either needs to get in Microbial Shroud or start making some Corruptors. But it was way too late for Corruptors. Spires take too long to build to do anything against this coming push, which is looking big and pretty tough.
Yeah.
Where are your obs? Why are these tumors not dying?
It's kind of like Solar forgot the last 5 years of PvZ and that you need to kill all the Protoss's workers if you're going to play with a basic composition like this.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll just get stormed to death, and that's what we've seen.
Yeah, he's pulling back. Interceptor count is only 32. I mean, it's not like there's nothing, but nice snipe on that Oracle, though. That was pretty good. This is, man, this is tough.
Abducts go down on the mothership on the carrier.
Their ship does get focused, but that's GG.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. What? What is this new era of Skytoss just beating Zerg like it's nothing? What's going on? What year is it?
I mean, yeah. I guess Protoss got a little bit more aggressive and better at dealing with, like, Zerg Baneling attacks, so...
I don't know. Classic took down Dark doing this. And Dark was kind of like, Zergs just kind of forgot how to deal with this, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, I don't think, like, Zerg has ever been able to deal with Skytoss super easily. They've just, like, there was quite an era where they were just killing the Protoss before They got to it, it seems.
Yeah, but I don't know. And even for a while there, I felt like Skytoss was just non-viable against Zergs, or especially the top Zergs
Yeah,
were
like,
crushing it.
yeah, I still don't think it's viable against someone like Cyril.
Dark?
I mean, Dark's always been that guy, though, in which, like,
Ah,
he'll tunnel vision a little bit and be like, yeah, I'll try and kill a Protoss with Ultralisk when they've got 10 carriers kind of thing, so...
that's Dark is a little bit silly. Yeah, I guess if we start seeing Cyril lose to it, then we can talk. But
yeah,
still, it's strange to me. Hey, Classic, go some Skytoss. This is a pretty good map for it.
yeah. And in the bottom right, it's Vitality's Solar.
And in the top left, Classic.
Classic.
From Twisted.
I'm a big Classic fan these days.
You should be. Took down Dark in GSL.
He won me over in 2014, 2015 when he just kept beating all my favorite Protoss players. Or my favorite Terran players, pardon me. And at some point I was like, I can't even argue that this is balanced. You're just, like, just destroying them.
Right.
And so I had to respect him because of it, so.
Yep, definitely have to. Yeah, I mean, he's made it to a game 5 here against Solar in an Afreeca event. So, I mean, you can't do much better than that. I mean, you could beat Solar, but beyond that, there's not much you can do.
This is where Solar channels the Afreeca gods. And things.
Seriously, you light some incense.
Solar's playing right now with his 9 Afreeca World medals around his neck.
Yep. They're a little bit heavy, but it's awesome. Alright, again, Solar not really mixing this up all that much today. He wants to make Lings and Orochas and Baneling. Maybe he'll get some Ravagers, maybe he'll get some Hydras, but he's not doing anything with Mutas. We're not even touching Ultralisks. I'm not seeing any Infestor play at all. So I'm curious to see if he's going to stick with that or maybe try to get to some more Tier 3 stuff. I mean, Broodlords are pretty good. They're not bad now. I mean, not against carriers, obviously, but against some other compositions. Look at this guy. Look at this guy staying alive like an absolute boss man. And then he gets the block. Oh. I mean,
Solar's
it's not a
rattled.
long block. Totally counts, though. That was a block.
Adept, shades on in.
Yeah, I mean, Classic's not doing anything crazy either as far as early game goes. It's Oracles and it's Adepts. Like, that's what we're looking at from him.
Yeah, there's a reason why there was a moment silence there. It's because it's just like, this is normal.
This is what Classic is doing. Solar knows what's coming. He's going to lose some drones anyway because Classic's executing really well. Probably see some Stalkers on the follow-up. There's nothing these Lings are really going to be able to get done because Classic's opening is so safe and standard and it's beautiful. So, neat. Solar's firing up some spores to try to keep the drone lossage from getting too crazy.
Yeah, everything is looking completely normal. I will say, this series, I've really liked how fast Classic has expanded, how much he's macroed away. And we'll see if Solar really goes aggressive again, or what form of aggression he'll pick. Last time the Lings didn't work out for him.
No. I don't think they got, man, I want to say any value, which is hard with that many Lings, but I don't think I got any value.
I think it was honestly just the map, right? Because, like,
Yeah.
Protoss pretty much just says to stand on their 4th, watch their
Right.
3rd, and then they're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Bases are so clumped up together that there are no outer line bases for Lings to go hit. But yeah, just being active with your drones, man. You don't know where they're going to be. You don't know where drones are going to be transferring. Just when you see them, take advantage, snipe them down. This is beautiful by Classic. Throwing up that blink again.
Yeah, Blink +1. Solar goes hard on the drones with 10 being produced at once. And 4 gates going up for the Protoss, so Classic will be able to get really aggressive if he chooses to. Templar Archives, Robo on the way. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this will move on to face the winner of NightMare versus Cure, which will be our next match. One that I'm very excited for. I think Cure is the clear favorite. However, NightMare is always fun to watch, and he actually does really well against top Terrans at times, so we'll see if he can bring it today.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's a Spire. Holy smokes.
Ooh.
First Spire of the day. Look at this.
Yay!
Ooh. Mutas could be pretty good here. Although Blink Stalkers do pretty good at dealing with them. It's tricky. Got a Storm Dodge if these are Mutas. These could also be Corruptors. Or you could make a Spire and do nothing with it. That's also an option. Because you can do whatever you want.
That is definitely an option. We see the 4th going up for Classic. Almost at 7 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
And there's the
His macro's
Stargate.
been great.
Stargate and an extra Robo. Oracle flies to the back of that 4th, grabs 6 drones. Very nicely done.
Man.
Classic was being really patient with that before he went in.
That's 16 drone kills in the first 8 minutes. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
This
I
Oracle
mean, the time
has 12.
Wow. The time of the Oracle is over, though, because Mutas are popping right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a Ling Roach Muta kind of a thing. Adding in a few Corruptors. I kind of like that. Sprinkling a couple in. Because there are Phoenix being produced. Classic did see the Spire. He's like, well, having some Phoenix has never steered me wrong. And the Mutas are here. Trying to snipe down a shield battery. Dodging storms. They're fast. They might be the best unit at dodging storms for Zerg.
Yeah, it's always a little bit hard to spot where they are on the ground unless you have that setting
Right.
check too.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah, but like I said, Blink Stalkers, there you go. Another one goes down. They can just blink into the Mutas, get a couple shots off. They do decent damage against them, even though they don't do bonus versus Mutalisks. Muta HP is just kind of low enough, they'll be fine. And like I said, the time of the Oracle is done. A couple Corruptors here, just to try to keep the Phoenix at bay. There are more Phoenix being produced, 2 at a time. The Immortals are feeling a little bit useless with all this flying stuff around, but, you know, there's also
Yeah.
Roaches on the field, so we'll be fine.
The question is whether Classic bides his time and tries to macro up and continuously defend against the Zerg aggression, or whether he'll almost get fed up and decide to attack across the map, as Protoss so often does.
Yeah, and Mutas are not good for base defense. And the trick for them is they're good at harassment. They're good at getting out here, attacking, sniping. But once they're asked to kind of stand their ground against something, that's when they die. So I think moving out might not be a bad idea here from Classic if he doesn't want to deal with these shenanigans. Man, he's actually fighting those Stalkers a little bit. I don't know how I feel about that. He's working on
Yeah.
+1 flyer. He is committed to this Sky Zerg stuff. Look at this. More mutas, more corruptors being added on all the time. This is crazy.
Yeah, I feel like Solar is almost daring Classic to move out and go for a base trade, though.
Hmm.
And as a result, Solar, he's just pumping out mutas, hoping to have that killer number. He's got 13, adding on another 6. So, I mean, he's going to have 20 to his name. More and more being produced as time goes on. It really has slowed down Classic. However, Classic stopped producing workers altogether at 68, when he definitely could have squeezed out a few more. His extra gases were quite late. So the Protoss is playing scared.
Absolutely. Fleet Beacon getting fired up. Probably don't want to go carriers here. More for an eye on pulse crystals for those Phoenix. But man, Solar is expanding everywhere. Getting a ton of creep. He's maxed out. Got 77 drones. And just, you know, leaf on the wind stuff here. Just being everywhere. Now the Lings are engaging. But he gets out of there before Storm goes down. And to Classic's credit, he doesn't waste a Storm there either. Because the Lings were retreating anyway.
Yeah.
A lesser Protoss player tosses down a couple Storms there. Doesn't get a lot of value for it.
Mutas now come in towards the natural base. Kill that cannon. Stalkers come on in to help out, however, with the Phoenix to support.
Corruptor's trying to deal with the Phoenix, but Stalker count too heavy here. They do really well against Corruptors.
Yeah. Yeah, mutas start to trade better against Stalkers, but not till, like, the Zerg has got +2 and, say, 30 mutas out. Then the mutas start to trade way better because of density and whatnot, but...
He wants to snipe the High Templar. He forces them to storm themselves
and he does.
a little
he gets
bit.
every single one of them.
And the Lings are like, now's our time. No, just kidding. Too many Jargles. Get out. Get out. 9 Pulse Crystals is on the way. +1 flyer attack here, 2. Air attack for the Protoss. Muta's trying to whittle down that Zealot count so the Lings can get something done, but there's not enough Lings, really.
Yeah, there really isn't. All the Stalkers, all the Immortals on the ground are quite scary against what Solar has. He does turn the Protoss, though. All of a sudden, Classic is running for the hills.
What did Classic see there? I thought he was okay.
I guess just, I don't know, maybe the lack of, like, any armor upgrades. His units were melting pretty quick or something like that.
Dude, this is crazy. I cannot believe Solar is doing this. I haven't seen somebody go mass muta against Protoss since Rogue. That tells you how long it's been.
Yeah, he's got a ways to go before I think he's able to kill Classic, potentially. Just, honestly, Classic's reaction to this, like, he almost shot himself in the foot a little bit. He's still barely mining off his 4th base, whereas Solar is happily up on 5, 6 bases.
Yeah, I'm shocked Solar hasn't taken those 2 right side bases already. I mean, Classic has not been able to move out other than that one push. Mutas are also not getting +2 attack. So he's committing to this, but not giving them the upgrades they need to really win this game, which is concerning. Oh, man. Just handfuls of Lings. Archons, yes. Where are the Archons been
Yeah,
today?
that's a good question.
They showed up, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are amazing against both Lings and Mutalisks and Corruptors.
That thing that slaughters everything Solar has, yeah.
Seriously, like a mass Archon tech switch would just kind of win here, I think.
Yeah, Classic's honestly so broke, though, because his economy hasn't been that good. He's finally saturated up that 4th base now that his main is mining out, and so is his natural, but...
This is a weird game. I like it, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Solar does seem to be in quite the commanding position, though, with his huge economy. He's even making roaches now, thinking he may be able to bring down the Protoss ground army.
Yeah, that's the trick, right? Yeah, the range on these Phoenix. They've got +2. They're working on +3. And Solar's just not getting any upgrades for his Mutas or Corruptors at all.
Yeah, Classic still has to be careful, though, as this Zerg army is really formidable. We see Banelings now been produced by Solar. Classic flies over them, so he knows of their presence. As a result, He's warping in more High Templar, probably for Archons, but no, just gonna keep them ready to Psystorm, which may be what he needs against all these Banes and Roaches that Solar has switched into.
Yeah, this income tab has just been favoring Solar so heavily for the last 5 minutes or so. He's not trading incredibly efficiently, but if you just have, you know, twice the income your enemy does, it doesn't matter as much, you know? He's just kind of truly zerging here. Classic is trying to take that low ground expand outside of his Nat. Solar can shut that down. Oh, he's going for it too. I am not sure that Classic can stay in this thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a cancel on that. Yeah, easy.
Oh, the Immortals! Where were those 2 Immortals going? Apparently it worked, though, to bait the Zerg forward into Psystorm. And this could be the fight that Classic needs as the Mutas get stormed, the Banelings are all gone, and everything is softened up for the Zerg as Classic surges forward. He's going to try and not give Solar the time of day. Muta's lifting up Queens, and all of a sudden they're very useful against the ground army, too.
Yeah, that Graviton beam, fantastic. Solar's forced to evacuate this left side. 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock base, something like that. And then maybe a counterattack of Lings up to one of these bases of Classics. Losing that base for Solar is going to be a huge deal. No, he doesn't save it, and Hatch goes down. Yeah, this is a crazy ZVP. This is a ton of fun. Baneling's trying to trade out against those Zealots. Classic still hasn't taken a 5th base here at 16 minutes.
Yeah.
I just don't know that... Maybe that 1 o'clock. Oh, engagement. Banelings on top of the Immortals. Ravagers in here too, getting a nice concave, but Classic standing in. Solar falling back. More Lings in production, more Corruptors, more Roaches.
Yeah,
and high ground
the Phoenix lifting up a lot of Ravagers, a lot of Roaches and Queens. Those are
Corruptors do
kills.
snipe a Phoenix here. The control of the Phoenix is good. Yeah, ample Phoenix with the range upgrade. Trade against Corruptors disturbingly well.
They do.
Oh my gosh,
really
is Solar
do.
just dead? I think Solar's just dead.
He might be. The pivot to ground is a scary thing for Zerg, because it means all of a sudden you have to deal with a Protoss ground army.
Yeah.
Solar can't do it. GG, Classic advances.
Oh, nicely done, Classic. Yeah, I don't know what those Banelings were going to do. It's like Immortals and Archons on the ground. Good luck with Banelings. Very strange choice at the end there, but my goodness. Classic does take down the Afreeca favorite Solar 3-2.
Yeah.
Fantastic showing from Protoss here. Protoss fans everywhere rejoicing.
Hooray for Protoss fans everywhere.
So happy.
Yeah, and I can't say I'm upset to see Classic face the winner of our next series. It's going to be NightMare versus Cure. Another best of 5, as is tradition, the Afreeca format.
Indeed, indeed. One more best of 5 before our finals best of 7. John Solo says Phoenix OP. They can kind of look that way sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, incredible patience from Classic in that last match. That was really well done, the fact that he didn't just decide to attack across the map and force a base trade that wouldn't have been in his favor, I don't think. So,
Right.
Well done to him, and we'll be back in a couple minutes after a break. We'll get the vetoes done for our next match, and stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Alright everyone, we are back and it is time for more Starcraft. Who'd have guessed it? It's gonna be a TVP best of 5 starting on Oceanborn. Hahana, aka NightMare versus Cure.
Yeah, gonna be good, man. Dude, Cure versus Maru had a fun match in the GSL.
I did see that one.
Man, Skytoss or Sky Terran versus Sky Terran. Really fun.
And the fact that Cure was in the GSL round of 4 is why he's undoubtedly the favorite here.
Yep.
And there he is in the top left, Liquid Cure.
And a former GSL winner, bottom right. He's Toss, he's blue. He's NightMare. It's your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I was looking at somebody's page on Wikipedia, some player. And like it felt the need to write out that this player chose their name by picking an English word kind of at random. And I was like, yeah, but like they kind of all do that. I mean,
yeah,
right?
I think some Korean players just like have specifically said that during interviews though, so maybe that's what spurred it.
Yeah, it's common enough that if you just don't say why they picked their name, you can just assume they picked it out of a dictionary, you know?
Well, it's like that meme. It's the lyrics to Bohemian Rhapsody. Is this just real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide to escape from reality.
Yes, exactly. Song lyrics, whatever. God, I wish I could remember who it was. Oh, it was True.
Oh,
it was True. Specifically, it said True. Just was like, this word sounds great.
True dat.
Yeah, it's kind of an awesome name though. I mean,
yeah,
Truth. I like it.
I also really like this read and scout by NightMare. Scouts out around his base, make sure he's not getting proxied, opens up with an early Zealot into Nexus, so a safe expansion, fast cyber core, so we'll be able to deal with the one gas, or the double gas play, pardon me, out of Kier.
Yeah. I like it. It's respectful. It's recognizing a lot of gas openings are very good for Terran. So just playing it safe, getting that double gas up after the cyber core is well done, and warp is being researched already too. And then sending out a Zealot. Yeah, so the Reaper comes in.
Yeah.
There's an Adept to deal with it, but there's a Zealot moving across the map, which is very fun.
This is NightMare picking a build so well for this series. He's going to get a delay on the command center, maybe even an SCV kill. Yeah, no reaction.
Kier's like, wait, what? What's happening down there? Oh, almost got that Reaper too. That would have been massive.
The what is in my natural?
Yeah, what? How come? Where'd my SCV go? What is happening? Does this? Dude,
and
NightMare.
This is why I really like NightMare. Like, his PvT is pretty darn good. There's no way he gets this command center, though. It got dangerously close. Cyclone.
No, this Cyclone is, this command center stays alive. That's what it is. That's the button that you press to make a Cyclone, and it means your command center doesn't die. So, yeah, Reaper not going to try to Reaper grenade himself over that wall. Ooh, that's some good micro zoning here. Oh, yeah, Reaper dead.
Oh, wow. And with the shade, yeah, I believe that's a guaranteed kill.
Yeah, Reaper knows it, too. He's not even running. Yeah, KD8 charge of the last second desperation move.
Nicely done by NightMare. A little bit of momentum going his way, as that Reaper, keeping in mind, did not make it in to see... Well, I guess he saw the Twilight Council. Didn't see the Robo. Doesn't know if there's a bunch of gateways behind this or a third Nexus yet.
Right. And that's the tricky thing. You need to know these things. But, heck. Kier's like, I don't care what you got. I'm a Widow Mine drop your face.
Yeah.
Why not? And bring a Cyclone, too. That's fun.
The new nerfed Widow Mines.
Yep.
NightMare is very exposed in his main base, so he's going to lose 1 probe, 2 probe, and have to deal with these mines.
Oh, 3 probes. 4 probes. And the Widow Mines are keeping the Stalkers at bay. This is genius out of Kier.
Okay, Blink's
Holy
done
crap.
now, though.
Yeah, but...
Kier!
Dude, just let it fire. Oh, but the Blink's right. Nice dodge.
Yeah, that Stalker dodged 2 Widow Mines. That would have been
Yeah,
double death for him.
Impressive. Lot of lost mining time from NightMare there. Yeah, so what's interesting is when I heard about the Widow Mine nerf, I was like, meh, this is one of those changes that helps the lower ladder players do better. Like, you know, there's a new message that when a Widow Mine burrows near your units, it says you're under attack. But then I was like, how many pro games have I seen where a Widow Mine drop just kills like 20 workers? Like, it happens.
It does happen, yes. 100%.
So that's not just a change for us Lobby Diamond players. That's definitely it's going to help the pros too, which I'm sure they appreciate. It's just funny. There was just one moment though where I was like, just for the Lobies.
Your Starcraft diehard came out to be like,
yeah,
the game's not hard. You're just bad.
Right. They want that tank. Can't get the tank.
Yeah, is Kier gonna pull some SCVs to repair that or no? No, instead he's gonna try and set up a trap to be like, hey, come into my tanks there, NightMare.
Yeah, seriously. Bring your 4 Stalkers down here.
NightMare is experienced enough to not fall for that. And he isn't. He moves back in right at the perfect time.
Wow.
Observer might see these Marines, and he does get the tank.
Oh, that was sick. That's why you repair your tanks, people. That tank did not need to die.
I will say I love the mind games from Kier to be like, okay, immediately siege up. I know that thirsty Protoss is going to be looking for the tank. But NightMare, he was patient enough to be like, no, wait a second. I have an observer crossing the map. Had an observer as Kier scans and kills it, but it did see the third. No, it didn't see the third. Saw the army set up at the third, but did not see the third. We got Psystorm almost done researching, 7 minutes into the game for the Protoss. That's really nice. NightMare, however, doesn't have the gases taken at his third, so he'll need to get those rolling if he really wants that production soon. Throwing up a pylon, a spotter pylon with the increased vision range, if I'm not incorrect.
1. I think it's 1 extra range, but yes.
But yeah, that's not
We'll take it.
insignificant.
It's not. It's worth mentioning for sure. And then Cure just finishing up that combat shield now. Got concussive shells on the way. It's Marine Marauder. It's Medevac. It's Widowmine. It's all the classic stuff.
Yeah, NightMare representing the formal Warp Prism skin, it looks like.
Fancy. Very pretty. Gonna go for a Storm Drop. Which I don't think I've seen
it's
that
High
in a
Templar,
while.
not Zealots. By
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes. 14 SCVs die for nothing.
That is disgusting. Knocking the Terran down to 40 SCVs. Production will just grind to a halt for Cure.
Dude, NightMare is putting in some work here. I like it.
He is. This is why I'm a big fan of his PvP. He's got to be careful not to get caught off guard and take a bad fight. I feel like he doesn't lose too many units there. 2 Zealots, a Stalker. He's also got that Psystorm still to keep that Terran away. Can always feed back the Prism or the Raven if the opportunity arises.
Absolutely. Feedback always nice. Vikings already on the way as the Colossus start up with extended thermal lance. 67 to 53 workers for NightMare is great. Protoss fans are always like, you have to count for mules, not just worker count, but I think you're okay.
Yeah, we saw 14 SCVs die to a storm drop, or 17. Yeah. That was pretty good.
You're doing fine. So Marines, Marauders, Widowmines, Medevacs.
This is a lot of bio, though, in the hands of Cure.
It is. Yeah, Charge Lot's trying to get on top of these Marauders. They kill 1, but that is not a good trade.
Yeah,
what
really
is
preempting
auto turret harass? Auto turret harass. 5 probes go down. Man, we're count a lot too close to comfort here for NightMare, considering how well that storm drop did. I don't like this. You're just going out with Stalkers and Zealots like this?
Yeah, I guess he's trying to catch this army. Maybe land a big storm, then pounce on the army really quickly. I think that's what he's going for. Runs into what I think was a Widowmine there. He finds the army. There's the storms going down.
Okay, forces a pickup and a full retreat from Cure. He's like, I don't like that. Let's not do that again.
Cyclone drops in the main base. Cyclone Harassment Part 2. The much delayed sequel.
Yeah, Cyclone's nerfed a little bit too.
Yeah, they do not have a lot of health now. I believe. I can't keep track.
Yeah, they lost a little bit of health. Storm drops.
Storm. The Templar are abandoned, though, in the main base.
Didn't get away scot-free this time.
7 SCVs. All the energy drained isn't terrible, though. Like, it's going to take another 60 seconds for those ghosts to have a single EMP.
It's true. That can feel like an eternity in a game of Starcraft.
It really can, and I gotta say, I love the Colossus production here, soon to be 4 out, which requires a really healthy number of Vikings. I'd say you need at least 10 Vikings as a Terran to deal with that. The Raven can maybe make up some of that ground, but there's no interference matrix research for it. Scan.
That's interesting. Nice EMPs, catching the High Templar, forcing them to turn into Archons, EMPing the gateway units as they come in too.
Yeah, is there going to be a battery overcharge? No, the Zealots are just being melted as NightMare tries to deal with the left portion of the army, but it's not really a significant portion. There's still this big force that deletes his 4th base. His Colossus were not there in position, so he's just going to hold on top of this ramp, go for some counter damage, but there's a tank, there's a healthy number of Terran units here.
Yeah, it's just a lot of HP on those guys still. They're injured, but in the yellows and in the greens as the healing starts coming in here, these Stalkers, I don't think they're going to make it home.
No, NightMare,
Ow,
is he paying
ow.
attention momentarily? Does he recall? He recalls a single Zealot. That must have been a misclick or a misposition there. Or something. The 4 Colossus are out on the map. There is a prism full of Templar to support them. Very important. We're seeing 3, 1 being researched for the Protoss, 2-2 on the way for the Terran, so relatively even upgrades. In goes the Terran, attacking towards that third base. There's 2 High Templar. Will they be EMP'd? Yes, they will.
Yes.
The recall has already been used on that single Zealot, so NightMare is going to be knocked down to 2 bases momentarily, and his army is just not what he needs right now. The Vikings are going to kill at least one of the Colossus. High Templar drop. They land a Psystorm, but they all get picked off. There's not enough of a buffer for this Protoss army, and I think here is shown as masterclass in TVP.
Wow, the EMPs. Just being on the map where you want to be, when you want to be there. Just great engagements, good Vikings in response to the Colossus. And great macro. Just good sniping out bases, and Cure gets the game 1 win here against a nice opening from NightMare. Yo. Cure, man. He is good. Not good enough to defeat Maru, but not many players are, so that's no big shame. All right, so we're on Site Delta for game numero 2 here between NightMare and Cure.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good game up until a point for NightMare, I feel. And then he just started to give it away a little bit by a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what happens, right? The longer a game goes on, the more just the apparent discrepancy in skill starts to show in a game of Starcraft.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a good opening against somebody a lot better than you, but if you can't close it out, soon you're probably just going to die despite your good opening. That's exactly what happened here. So
Yeah. We shall see, though.
we will.
In the
Top
top
left. Cure.
The bottom right. The NightMare. Sort of like the name of a 90s wrestler.
WWF stuff, totally. Fights Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Looks like a command center first from Cure, potentially? No, just the
No.
Rex.
Yeah, there's this new meta in Brood War and PvT where if it's a 4-player map, a lot of Protosses are going Nexus first against Terran, and basically if you get it down, Terran can't do anything about it, and it's like 80% win rate from that point for Protoss.
Wow.
Yeah. Meta's still evolving in Brood War. 26 years later? 26 years later now? Yeah.
Yeah, I had to do some math actually earlier today to be like, when did StarCraft 2 come out? 14, 15 years ago?
2010? Yeah. Still going strong.
Yeah. Holds up incredibly well. I look at the other RTSs that are coming out in this day and age, and I'm like, StarCraft looks better, feels better, plays better.
Yeah. Back before Blizzard died, they knew what they were doing, turns out.
Mm-hmm. Which does make me a little sad for, like, StarCraft and Heroes of the Storm. They need, like, such a minuscule amount of support to keep the community engaged and active. But, like, they're not getting even that, really.
Right. I mean, I just think Heroes of the Storm never really took off. It never got to the point that Blizzard wanted it to.
No, no. Yeah, but Blizzard has shown us that they had never learned their lesson from Heroes. That is dumping millions and millions of dollars into an esport before the game becomes popular, like with
Right.
Overwatch. So then we're kind of seeing it get like replicated with some of the newer RTSs coming out, that they're already throwing tournaments to try
Right.
and build hype for their game.
Yeah, like Stormgate is doing some official stuff, and it's not even out yet.
And it's like, your game's in alpha. Are you sure you want people to look at it?
Right. You don't want the first impression of your game to be this.
Yeah,
Do you?
because my impression of Stormgate, for example, was not a good one from the first
Right.
look at it.
Right. Whereas Blizzard's like, here's our beta. It looks better than most games' finished products. Go ahead and make your decisions based on this because we're really proud of it, you know?
Yeah, and I'm probably not going to look too much more at Stormgate. I've already taken my one look, played some beta games.
Right.
It's like, no, it's not for me.
Yeah. I mean, either you need to be super polished in your alphas and betas like Blizzard did, or just don't get too eager with it before it's ready to go.
And I understand why they did it, but it kind of could come back to bite them in the long run.
Totally. Oh, I don't know. If you're good, you're good, you know? Like Helldivers. Nobody knew anything about Helldivers until it came out and it was good.
And it was polished, though, yeah, so...
It was. That's what I'm saying. If your launch is smooth and your game looks good on release, people are going to talk about it. You'll get some word of mouth. So it's a Hellion Widowmine
we lifted a
play
probe.
here. Nice. 2 probes die. Widowmine fires on the Phoenix, but not enough to kill it. It's a weird choice as it chases away the medevac.
Yeah, that was just chaos. We see 5 probes, but because of the Phoenix tech choice, the medevac will perish. And that's not bad. 4 mines for 5 probes. If I'm Protoss, I'll take that trade. 2 Hellions as well.
This time we are getting interference matrix researched here from Cure. Did not need it in the last game. Just fought 4 Colossus. No biggie. Won.
It's true.
With interference matrix, this is not looking good for now.
Yeah, I mean, he did have a very successful hold, though. Phoenix are harassing a little bit, getting 3 SCVs. Tank or Adept Shade into the natural. Bring that total up to 8. And then they shade on out, not even having to use a recall. Phoenix getting more SCV kills. Like, NightMare is so good, it seems, at the opening of PvT. And then the games just tend to slip away from him. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this one and see if Cure is able to get some counter damage done, as there's a little bit of Raven harassment. Waiting to drop the next auto turret.
The probes are like, we're not going in there. There you go. Auto turret up. Raven gets wiped. Everybody runs from their hazardous workplace. Lets the auto turret expire, and then back to work now. There you go. Not bad.
Yeah, that was a lot of denied mining time, however.
Was.
Yeah, though, still a lead for the Protoss, I'd say.
Yeah. In short. Looking okay. And Cure's just doing tyranny things here, right? Combat shield, stim, +1, lots of marines, marauders, siege tank.
Adept shading on by. There is a complete wall.
Yeah, I'm just not even going to worry about those adepts at all. The Phoenix getting a pickup on that Cyclone or one of these tanks would be huge.
Yes, it would. NightMare's got to be careful. Oh, those adepts are in a corner. They are in a corner that Shade has to complete, but all but two of them go down. This is the kind of thing, like, good opening. Gets a Raven, that's huge.
Okay. One Raven down, another Raven is still here. One Colossus going to get interfered. There you go. Disabled one of the Colossus. Force fields trying to keep the Terran at bay while that wears off, and that's going to work out for NightMare. I don't think that Colossus getting disabled really hurt. That was nice.
Yeah, I guess
That could have been huge.
I guess Phoenix target down Ravens extra quickly because of their light tag, eh?
You are correct.
That's not something that I've ever really taken too much note of before, but it's very important there that NightMare was able to kill that off really darn quickly.
Yeah, light and mechanical Ravens are. Alright, so NightMare's got the magical 3 Colossus out. They've got extended thermal lance. Vikings being pumped 2 at a time here from Cure.
Yeah. Mule gets dropped.
Yep. Nice.
NightMare splitting his army up, getting units all over the map so he can see if anything's coming his way. Oh, 2 Phoenix are forfeit. Softens up the Raven so much. That was 3 Phoenix shots. That could be huge if he can pick those off. Or pick that off. He's already killed the other one.
Always love adding disruptors to your comp.
Yeah. There's the 4th for NightMare. And he seems a little bit unsure of what to do in this point of the game against someone like Kier, I'll say.
I mean, understandable?
Understandably so. But it's like, oh man, Kier's really good. Do I try and kill him? Do I try and macro up? And he's kind of taking his time and doing either.
It's like if I try to out macro him, he's probably faster than me, so that's not great.
Yeah, and then... Because, like... Yeah, NightMare's 4th base, compared to how much damage he got done, isn't super quick. It's a 10-minute mark 4th. Kier's already got his 4th on the way, so he's catching up in the macro. He's ahead on army supply. And gone are the days in which Protoss can kill 150 Terran or 100 Terran army supply with 50.
Right. Those are fun days, though, for one side.
Yeah.
NightMare doing a little bit of a zealot shenaniganry, as you do in this matchup and all matchups, really. Almost got an SCV. That would have been nice. All right, man. So it's going to come down to disruptor hits at this point. How good is Cure at dodging disruptor hits? Answer, pretty darn good.
Yeah. Can NightMare catch Cure out of position, too? Like, if you can take the fight as the Protoss before Terran has had time to line up their 6 EMPs that he's going to have, or their interference matrix, that really changes things. If Terran gets to decide the fight, it's very difficult for the Protoss. Supply-wise, NightMare has got pretty much maxed out. Cure's pretty much maxed out. This disruptor pathing is making me so nervous. Oh my gosh, NightMare. Because that is disruptors take the long way around.
Danger zone.
Yeah, yeah, tell me about it. He's going for Stargates. I do like this. NightMare now stepping forward. This is only a fraction of the army up here. If he can take a fight against it, it will be a favorable one. Drops force fields, grabs some of the Terran army. He's going to keep on moving forward, it would seem. Tosses the disruptor, kills the Widowmine. Zealots harassing the 5th base. Gets 11 SCVs there. That's really nice. Protoss army moving in once again. This is just a fraction of the Terran force for now. There comes the rest of it. Disruptor's already getting tossed out, though. Massive connections.
Yes, that's what we're looking for, NightMare fans. Yeah, Viking count not super hefty here either. I mean, everything's been armor shredded, as they call it in GSL, but that wears off. It's not permanent. Man, disruptor hits. They giveth and they taketh away.
Yeah, they really do. We see NightMare moving in once again, tosses out a Disruptor, kills the Mine. He is down to only 2 Colossus, and he hasn't produced anything else yet. Nothing else is fired up in the Robos, I'll note, which could come back to bite him if he loses this army.
Yeah, he's floating some cash here. Really could top out. Got some Zealots up, going after reinforcements. Love that. But yeah, those Ghosts getting killed by Disruptors were huge. NightMare trying to kite. Back and Back does lose his last Colossus in this group. The Zealots on the other side are kind of getting some work done a little bit. Disruptor shot. Oh, I thought, did it stop? Did the circle stop?
Oh my gosh, triple carrier production.
Yeah, just saw that in production tab.
No more Colossus, no more. Yeah, that makes me a little bit worried that he's going to try and contend with Cure, with Ghost, Marauder, Marine, with just Blink, Stalker, Disruptor. Like, there's carriers on the way, but they are a long, long ways away. This 5th base has not had a single probe mining at it. So it's 13 minutes in, even though he's had the 5th base up. He hasn't mined from it at all.
Nova connection, no connection. I mean, Nova explosion. Not as cool. I kind of like the carriers.
Yeah, like, if Cure doesn't scout these, I like them, but the problem is, like, they're so short on upgrades is the thing.
True, true. I mean, I don't know, +1 just finished, +2 airs on the way.
Okay, +2 on the way does make me feel better. They're very soft against Mass Terran, though.
Marauders aren't very good against them, though.
That's true.
There's a lot of Marauder.
Oh, the Disruptors, one goes down.
I like the animation where the Disruptor kind of huddles in and like pulls its knees up to its chest and then like pew.
Pulls its knees if the Disruptor had knees.
Yeah. If it was human, that's what it would do. Trying to give human aspects to robots, okay?
Tucks its knees into its hoodie like a kid.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Oh, NightMare's kind of getting hit on both sides here. Cancels. He's on 4 bases.
Yeah, he's on 4 bases against a 5-base Terran that's making multiple starports to counter the carriers.
So let's get into the 3rd base of Cure. Get some work done. SCV's pulled back. Marauders pulling back into a position where the Zealots can't go. It's kind of the same maneuver against Lings as it is Zealots based on the melee aspect of both of those units. But, all right, carriers, what do we got? How many? Let's see. We've got, yeah, it's kind of nice down there.
Yeah, well, I just saw the shadow of the carriers in it. I didn't know that was the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know there was reflections like that.
Yeah, the engine in this game.
Oh, no, the Disruptors.
Save some of their buddies. But yeah, no, the graphics engine in this game is incredible.
Okay, carriers can save this base, most likely.
Yeah, 3 Vikings at a time being produced. There are 6 Vikings out and 21 Marines. Which isn't exactly carrier-crushing numbers of Marines.
I think I saw Phoenix of War in chat earlier, and dare I say we could see a nuke this game.
I mean, he asks for one every time we have one of these. Man, the sound of Ghost dying is just music to Protoss's ears, especially.
So visceral. It's just, oh.
Well, they just drama queen it so hard, too.
I think that's a free sound, I want to say.
Nice.
Because, like, you hear it in various media every now and then, I want to say.
Well, there's the Wilhelm scream.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
That one is eminent domain, and that one has been in so many movies. Now it's put into movies solely to just be in the movie. Which is annoying, because it takes me out every time. I hear a Wilhelm scream, and I'm like, yep, well, I'm watching a movie. I'm pretty sure the Ghost Scream is unique. Somebody stepped into a recording booth and did that for Blizz. Which is hilarious to think about.
What are you doing at work today, honey? I'm going to scream.
Scream into a microphone 47 times. Like I'm being absolutely knife murdered. Like just the worst pain.
The dude was probably in the recording studio and someone steps in like, hey, your car is being towed.
Your 16-year-old just wrecked your Ferrari. Shield battery overcharge does get popped.
No,
Cure does not care.
Missed. What is the army doing? Get your lazy asses over there and deal with this.
They should have been involved in this about 10 seconds ago. Nexus goes down. Cure casually backs out.
You're a Protoss, not a human. You can't just ignore your problems.
Yes.
Oh, a nuke
finishes. Nuke just finished. Come on, Cure. Do it. Do it for Phoenix War. Never say die. And then dies. Yes, John Solo. That is a ghost lifespan in a nutshell. Liberator is being added. I don't know if I like that against Carrier particularly.
Yeah, I mean, they are good against interceptors. Oh my gosh, that is so many Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Yay! There it is!
And it's going to land two. And it's going to land two. NightMare, buddy, pull those probes. Pull them. Good job.
Okay, he runs the boys, except the poor two suckers that are mining gas.
Blech. And they both die. We got our nuke. Phoenix.
Oh, man, there's no batteries here to support the carriers, though.
Oh, are they one? They're not one-balling down carriers, but it's very close. Another nuke in production here. Kier says, well, that went well. Let's try that again. The Viking control here by Kier has just been pretty fantastic as well. And Z loses one to Blink Stalker's butt.
Yeah, Kier has kind of fallen into that trap in which you make so many anti-air units that you don't have anything that's anti-ground. Like, he's got 5 Marauders, 8 Marines, and 2 Ghosts. There's still a very formidable ground force for NightMare. So the Liberators are going to have to do some work here. However, the Stalkers are coming on in, getting some good pickoffs. And he's actually just going to blink forward on top of this. I like this decision by NightMare. Vikings forced to land into Disruptors.
Oh my gosh, they can't land because the Disruptors are here, and then the Stalkers get right back on them. That was an interaction I haven't seen very much at all, if ever. That was crazy. Yeah, Vikings land to do bonus to mechanical, which counts both Stalkers and Disruptors, which is pretty neat. But then you have to worry about getting Purification Novid right in the face, and suddenly it's 130 to 100 supply. Yeah, do not. Was it Classic that got nuked by Maru and GSL?
Okay,
no, they
the Ghost got
Ghost.
killed.
Woo! I think it was Classic that got nuked by Maru and GSL. Is this a win?
It's
no, Kier has so many bases and so much production right now. He can stabilize.
It's that Terran thing, though. I mean, he lost a lot, and there's still quite a Protoss Deathball NightMare. The solution is not sitting there, though. You gotta get your butt into gear and go kill this son of a gun.
Maybe not bases that are already mined out, though. Like, either go for production or go for new bases, dude.
Yeah.
That doesn't hurt Kier that much.
Crippled by indecision.
Yeah. Taking down that planetary seems pretty doable with carriers. Okay, carrier. There's one here.
Scan goes down towards the bottom left. Kier is electing to go for the base trade option, actually, it seems. And
it is.
I don't know if that's the right call for him. He almost could have defended his production. I'm not sure if he can now, as
Liberator circles are kind of tough to get bust up, but
yeah, it's gonna take him forever to get over, to get from this far left base to the main base of NightMare, trading his natural for one base of the Protoss.
Man, 2 starports die. That's a lot of the Viking production, too. I don't know if NightMare wants to try to go up there. He doesn't. He elects to not try to go for the production. Go down. You need to get to a base really fast here. This game is bonkers.
You are correct. Kier is mining a boatload still. Kier elects to take a fight, though, before his army is entirely here. The Vikings kill off all the carriers. The Colossus are gone, so it's just ground against ground. Disruptors are landing for the Protoss. There's a big blink forward. There's still a lot of Disruptors and Archons on the map. NightMare is being pushed away, however. There's a Nova going out. Gets dodged. This base does get scouted, so...
Don't fight it while the army's chasing you. There you go. Sending a Nova out at a time to just put some distance between himself and the Terran army. Pretty good at doing that, actually. If you ever have trouble running away from a Terran, have a couple of Disruptors and
yeah,
send Novas back every once in a while.
Doesn't hurt.
It'll be fine.
Now the Protoss is up on supply. He's still got that beefy ground army. He's going to try and break this planetary, target it down before the Terran can save it, and he does just that. Disruptor goes out. It's a small connection. All the Vikings go down. There's still Tempest in the sky. More Novas can be tossed out on a whim.
Tempest getting some good hits off here. 79 to 66 army value. Another Ghost goes down with a terrifying, agonizing scream as usual. Yeah, Medivacs dying really hurts your ability to win this game.
All the SCVs transferring almost ate a Disruptor shot.
Yo. Yeah, Tempest against Liberators. Not my favorite thing, but in a situation where it's kind of scrappy and frantic like this, it's sort of awesome.
Yeah, really. They are working there. NightMare doesn't know about this base to the upper right.
Oh, that's humongous. You have to send something up there at some point.
Now, he might have just
high
seen all
ground.
the SCVs transferring, so his focus is on the left side.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Disruptor stays alive, but just barely getting a Nova off there.
Oh, Nova! Almost a friendly fire Nova there. One does get a massive connection off, and that may be what NightMare needed.
He gets a massive hit there. Chases Cure all the way back into his main. He thinks he's doing a lot better than he is because he doesn't know about Cure's top right base. This is a little bit agonizing for NightMare. Come on, man.
Yeah, NightMare is just a little bit unsure of where to go from here. He's electing to try and get the kill right now, but it's a ramp. It's difficult to push up in. He's got High Templar.
Scout the top right. Scout the top right. Yeah, he's like, where's all this production coming from? I mean, he knows there are two bases mining, right?
I think he does.
Oh, the storms.
Oh, wow.
Medevac down, Ghost annihilated. Blinking up into the main would be pretty sick right now, but also maybe an overextend. He doesn't want to. He could blink up. Actually, just use the blink. But cooldown's off now. He's gonna go. He has to. There it is. Dude, I think NightMare has done this.
Wow, what a scrap. Okay, one final fight from Cure. Disruptors in a tight location. Does get targeted down. Beautifully done by Cure. He's got a great angle against these Stalkers, and now NightMare has just got to micro his heart out. Marauders, Vikings landing, trying to hold on for the Terran. It's so
GG.
close, and it is enough. Cure taps.
NightMare takes game 2 in a game where he got nuked.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so scrappy for so long. Mobile armies picking at each other, poking at each other, nobody holding still. No base defenses, really. And then NightMare finally is able to get up inside the main base of Cure, go after his production, and wipe him out.
It is good to see that NightMare can close out one of those PVTs that he has a good opening in.
Yeah, it's gotta feel good. Protoss fans everywhere are like, yes, this is great. Go NightMare. And yeah, NightMare's gotta feel good about it too.
It was a scrappy one, but he did it. Oh boy, he's got it.
Ooh.
Both players are ready.
Let's rock. Game number 3. Did we think we'd be coming into here tied 1-1? Probably not, but that's why we cast it. That's why we watch. You never know.
Yeah, it's really impressive by NightMare how good his PVT is against these top Terrans. Like, he's had games like this against Maru as well. He doesn't necessarily win them all, but he is always able to get leading positions.
Yeah, it's just whether he can close it.
And now in the top left, maybe he's a little bit shaken. It's Liquid Cure.
And in the top right, NightMare. Feeling good. And yeah, a lesser Protoss on that final engagement when Kier had that nice concave and from his main and was coming in. A lesser Protoss, I think, maybe just dies there. But NightMare, like you said, microing is a little hard out. Blinking back, making sure the Wounded Stalkers aren't dying. I mean, that was a beautiful display of how to play Protoss.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy watching his PVTs, and he's shown us now in one map that he's able to play with the big dogs. Maybe he needs to polish it up a little bit more. I don't think anyone is going to argue against that.
Right.
But still, really awesome to watch him, and we'll see what he's going to bring out on Ghost River. Kira wants to expand. NightMare's got to get that probe out of here, though, as the Marine will pop out momentarily.
All right, here's our Zealot. Here's our poor SCV.
Yeah, the early Zealot once more.
This time, Kier is actually ready for it and doesn't lose the SCV for no reason.
Yeah, it's a Zealot and a Stalker, though, with another Stalker on the way.
Love that. Love that.
Kier's going to be in a little bit of trouble until he gets out of Cyclone.
Yeah.
He's at least 30 seconds away. That's a big delay on his natural.
Huge delay on the natural base as NightMare's Nexus is coming up. You're not getting through this wall, obviously, but man, if you focus that command center and get a cancel on it...
Yeah, I don't think that will happen, but maybe it could have.
You know, killing Marines is probably better. You know what? Good call, NightMare. He's going to force some SCVs off the line, maybe for a repair here, too. Good heavens.
Third Stalker.
Dude, 3 Stalkers are scary.
And he might get this.
Dude,
wow.
Oh my gosh, he did get the cancel anyway? All right, Cyclone's here.
That is
Everybody
ridiculous. Such a simple pressure by NightMare is able to just cancel Kier's natural, set him a huge amount behind, and he's got his own Nexus up behind this.
Yeah, Kier's not building another command center either. That's nuts.
Yeah, like this wasn't a ginormous commitment by the Protoss. It was a commitment, but it's more than paid for itself by now.
I feel like we need more of this in PvT. Like, too many times Protoss are just like, we'll let you get your second base up. And Terran's like, thanks.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, eras things, like the 2-racks. The proxy 2-racks that goes through its sort of waxes and wanes, it feels like. But, oh, this is a big overcommitment by the Protoss. Oh, he just lost 3 Stalkers. And now the counterattack is coming from Kier. Kier's just one-basing it as well.
Alright, Kier's here. He says, that was cute, but I have 2 Cyclones and a bunch of Marines. I have a shield battery, says NightMare. Yeah, shield battery, man. Where would Protoss be without it? In worse places, that's for sure.
That is without a doubt for sure. Kier is continuing this one base, however. He's going to try and kill NightMare. Blink is almost done for the Protoss. That will be huge. We've got another pylon, another battery on the way for NightMare. He's repositioning to his main, but he's realizing that all this focus is on the front. And with Blink done, he's got a lot of room to play here.
Yeah, Siege tank, though. Liberator. I mean, really? Bunker at the front? No. Say the Stalkers. Absolutely no bunker. Did not even get a cancel on that either. Second SCV says, but what about bunker here?
Slightly further back.
Yeah.
Oh, he's blinking some of the Stalkers down to catch reinforcements. That's huge. If he caught that tank, that would have been good, but he just misses it. He might find a Liberator, and he does. That is big.
Like, Blink is good, Shield Battery good. He does take down a Cyclone that did not get microed very well there by Cure.
NightMare throws up 2 more batteries, trying to deal with this. He does lose a gateway. That's a lot of production he's lost. However, he's got 4 more, 5 with another in his main base going up.
Man, this counter from Cure is nuts. 1 base insanity from him. That's why he didn't re-expand. He's like, I want to 1 base this guy counter.
Yeah, NightMare.
And man, it is working.
He warps in 3 more Stalkers. He's got charge about 60 seconds, a minute away, and then he'll be able to warp in a bunch of Zealots to potentially clean this up, and they'll close the distance big time. NightMare is potentially going to blink to the low ground to try and get behind these Liberators, and he does, bringing in the rest of his Stalkers. He's going to try and get on top of the tank, picks off 1, picks off 2. Can he get out with a decent amount of units? He gets out with 6 Stalkers, links back up into his main base, and is going to resume the defense with Zealots to support.
Robo is getting Shield Battery Overcharge healed. Not something you see every day. Zealots are here. Charge could not come any sooner here for NightMare. He really wants it. He does 3 volley down a Liberator. 1 Liberator remains.
This
Charge is done in 15 seconds. That Robo is going to die, healing or not. Yeah, there it is. No Immortal comes out. That would have been nice to have. This 1 base aggression out of Cure is bonkers. The charge is done. Here we go. Charging on in, trying to focus down the tank in particular. Tank is gonna go down. Second tank remains.
No,
There's
there's
a lot
nothing left for NightMare.
Yeah, he went for it with the charge, but it wasn't enough. What a turnaround by Cure. Insanely good opening from NightMare. And then Cure's just like, how do I deal with this? Well, go 1 base pressure win.
Yeah, and he did it. NightMare has got a lot of resources to his name still. He even throws up a Dark Shrine, which is a bit of a Hail Mary, seeing as how he's got 70 seconds for that bad boy to complete. He's going to try and hold on in his main base. He's got a battery on the high ground. Zealots are now moving in. Is their tank friendly fire? A little bit. I'm not sure it's enough. He's got a battery overcharge he can blink his Stalkers back into. That is an insanely powerful play. He doesn't grab the tank, though.
No. Liberator gets a closer siege up towards the Protoss here. No shit. Okay, but Cure was like, you know what? Let's push. Let's see what we can get done here. Let's not expand. Let's not try to macro. We're going to get out macroed if we try that. Let's just bring all of the shenanigans, all of the Liberators, the siege tanks, the Marines were hugely important. We're going to build bunkers at the front and missile turrets at the front and just out micro this guy.
I'm not sure what NightMare needed to do better there.
Right.
I guess just he lost those 3 Stalkers after he canceled the command center. Like the Cyclone and the few Marines were able to kill off those 3 Stalkers. If he had those Stalkers, he could have probably poked out a little further, denied the bunkers more. So maybe that's where it all went wrong.
Yeah, he did deny the 1 bunker, but that second one was more problematic for sure. Yeah, and for Cure to bring up multiple SCVs, just be like, hey guys, I'm going to lose 1 or 2 of these. Let's make sure we have backups is pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, when you're 1 basing it, you 1 base. You may as well commit, so.
Right.
Yeah, well done. Well done by Cure. Killer's instinct, as always. Can't sing his praises enough. And I apologize if everyone heard, like, a pling there on the stream. The Windows pling that makes you go like, oh god, what's broken? It was just running out of recording space, so I emptied my recycle bin and we should be good for the rest of the night.
Oh, good, good. Hate that. Yeah, video takes up a lot of space, it turns out.
Yeah. Way back in the day, it used to be a much bigger deal with like tiny hard drives. It's not as big of, and I used to use Fraps, which recorded at like monumentous file size. OBS is way better.
That's good.
Anyway, in the top right, we've got Liquid Cure.
And in the bottom left, it is NightMare. Yeah, just straight file data storage has gotten crazy cheap. That's been nice. I didn't really expect that. Like, I figured, we'd get bigger, bigger capacity, but prices would continue to increase.
Yeah, that it would still be like $1 per gigabyte or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. You can get a 2 terabyte SSD for like $150.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I need to
I'm gonna
buy
get
one of
one
those.
right now. Thanks, Amazon.
Yeah, I do need to order one of those. I've been rocking like two old 240 gig SSDs, and with game
Oh,
size these days, it just
you
doesn't work.
need no, and you need SSD. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Big. I mean, I don't know. I've got a 500 gig SSD that I've been rocking for several years now.
Nice.
Yeah, it is kind of annoying that it's like, oh, I'm installing Baldur's Gate. What do I have to uninstall to install Baldur's Gate?
Yes.
But I'm never really playing any more than a couple games at a time, so it's not that huge of a deal, I guess.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
just have a solid, like a big hard drive for storage, and then a couple of SSDs for games. But like, I've got like, my girlfriend's got like Hogwarts Legacy installed, and it's like that's 80 gigs right there. So
Yeah, adds up. All right, NightMare, on the ropes, back against the wall, down 2-1 against Cure. What do we got? What is up your sleeve?
yeah, I feel so bad for NightMare to keep asking for him to have great openings, because he keeps delivering. Like, all his openings in these games have been pretty respectable. It's not like he's lost like 6 probes and then been like, oh, I guess he'll just peter out and die. No, he's been the one getting damage done, and then the game slowly slips away from him.
Right. Yeah, it's not like he's lost 20 probes to a Widowmine drop or anything.
No. Are those Protoss in there, or Terrans, or... Oh, it's Zerg. Oh, that's a Baneling in there.
It's got to be fun to design those little things.
Yeah, the doodads are great. Blink opening for NightMare. Looks like he's going up to just 2 gates for now, so we'll see if he throws up a couple more or if it's going to be a 3rd Nexus.
And here we go. Here come our friends, the Widowmines. Not everyone's friends, but they're our friends, I suppose. All right, swinging on in. Reaction time from NightMare. Come on, dude. This has happened to you a million times. There you go.
Yeah, the problem is Terrans are just like, hey, I'll just unburrow and reburrow the mines and then pick them all up in the medivac and it'll be great.
But NightMare says, no, you actually won't. All the Widowmines will die. And your medevac too, probably.
Reaper jumps into the natural, being a pain, bounces.
Probe kill.
Oh,
Probe kill.
almost gets it, but not quite. Cures, not quite microing that. Does
Ooh,
get one
did
though.
get a probe kill anyway. Huh, no micro probe kill as dying. That's pretty fancy.
Very nice. See 4 Marines out on the map. NightMare's like, it's a bit bold of you guys. And there's the Stalkers pouncing on top of them. A nice pickoff for the Protoss. There is, however, a tank. The bunker at the natural for the Terran. Medivac goes down. That's a nice kill. See the Raven moving on in, looking for some damage once more.
Doesn't find anything. Good Stalker. Good Stalker set up here. And, oh,
wow.
blinking in. Takes down the tank.
Yeah, the Adept shading in first was huge to eat those tank shots. Stalkers are going to reposition. Are they just... They may just have to recall, or they may be a little bit trapped. No, they can actually... Can they get out the back there? There's one escaping. There's two escaping.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is some fancy play there from
my
NightMare.
gosh,
Again, what an opening!
Yeah, exactly. NightMare is so darn good at opening. He just needs to kill this Terra now or something. So we see him getting out charge. He doesn't have a third base yet, so it is still 2 base against 2 base. He's also got an Immortal dangerously across the map. It'll do wonders if it gets FaceTime with the siege tank, but not if it's got 8 Marines defending it. So we see the Stalkers come on in to help. The Immortal's trying to target down a tank. It gets 1. Looks like it may get picked off, however, and then the tank and the Marines should be able to stand against these few Stalkers for Cure.
Indeed.
There's the third for the Protoss, quite delayed. Auto turrets. I guess the Ravenalt was under threat, so toss those down.
And before you take a gold base, you want to make sure you can access behind the gold mineral. You kill those rocks. NightMare throwing up that Psionic Storm upgrade again.
Yeah, for all the finesse out of NightMare, I'm not sure his position is great. Like, his third is really delayed. Cure's already getting his. There's already Stimmin +1 for the Terran. The supply isn't bad for the Protoss because he shaved off so many Terran units, but other than that, it's not great.
Right. Not all that fancy. But I like that he's keeping the pressure up.
Yeah, this is such an amount of bio to attack on into, though.
It is, and the 2 tanks supporting them as well.
Where's the Prism? There's the Prism. Okay, if he goes for one more warp in here, and then makes the play.
Okay, here we go. There's the warp in. Got the High Templar in the War Prism.
Okay.
Come in. Look at the pre-split against Storm, too. Or Disruptors or something.
Here
That's
does
amazing.
Not trust NightMare. It's still going to be a big attack by the Protoss, though. He's going for it. There's the Prism. Unloading High Templar. Can he land good Psystorms? Gets a decent one on the 2 tanks, softening them up in a bit of bio. There's lots of Zealots here. The +1 for the Terran is a problem, though, as that allows a lot more damage. One Hero Marine runs forward and kills the Prism before it can get the warp in off. That is a hero Marine right there. No pun intended. That, oh gosh, that potentially just saved Cure's bacon. There would have been like 4 or 5 more Zealots in that fight had that not got off. Okay, we've got Psystorm. Colossus on the way.
Yeah. Colossus range coming in, too, because you never want to forget that. Storm doesn't seem like it did a lot, but man, every time there's a medevac pickup and there are Stalkers down there, I'm like, ugh. There's only 2 of them. So sniping a medevac with 2 Stalkers is not going to be that easy.
Observer's in a great position, giving full vision on this army, allowing NightMare to make a decision, an educated one, whether he wants to engage this. The answer is no. Go for a Storm drop, get 2 SCVs.
Man, War Prisms are so fast. Look at them. Cure's like, this is nuts. I cannot believe that Observer is still there.
Yeah. Yeah, you think Cure would have scouted that by now.
Wiggling in observation mode.
I guess it's just in a really The hard to see spot. There we go.
Okay. Kira looked right at it. It's
He
like
burned all his good grace there.
How long has that been there? Widowmine softens up those zealots, forces Kira back home. Good Widowmine placement.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at all those zealots. They're like, we don't want to fight now. We have no shields left. Man, one Widowmine really making all the difference there. Extended Thermal Lance is finished. 2 more Colossus are going to finish up here too pretty soon. There are no Ravens and only a couple Vikings. Wow, NightMare says, let's go.
Big Psy Storms, though.
The splits are pretty good. The double Colossus causing issues. Both Vikings go down, and now Kira's in full kite mode. Back and back and back and back and back. Does not like the number of Zealots. The 2 Colossus he sees here. No way.
Yeah, he's doing a great job kiting, though, and the lack of stalkers in the fight there prevented NightMare from really blinking forward and punishing the Terran. We see a scan go down. There is still 3 Colossus that can potentially push in. Double Disruptor. Lots more Zealots warping on in. NightMare is afraid to go for the kill, even though he's got a hefty supply lead.
Yeah, it's looking okay.
He's got 5 bases to his name.
Disruptors, which were really important for him in winning game number 2. Adding him into his comp here. And as we saw, Vikings aren't really an answer to Disruptor, but there are still some Colossus to contend with if you're Cure.
Yeah, this is quite a lead for the Protoss in supply, though. 110 to 90. Zealot counter-harassment being queued up. There's 3 Widowmines waiting to detonate, though, and they will find their targets. Well, 2 of them do anyway. Zealots do make it into the natural, as Kira's busy with the poke, trying to dodge Disruptor Novas. And these
Zealots!
Yeah, they get a good amount of kills, seeing as how there is 2 mines, and Kira's army real close by.
Wow, 12 SCVs go down. 72 to 50 worker advantage for NightMare here is absolutely bonkers. He's got to take some confidence in that.
Yeah, he's maxed out now as well.
I mean, no better time to go than when you're newly maxed, I'd say.
Okay, he's moving forward. Could potentially be a risky position as he funnels himself into a choke. He's got that Disruptor saving grace. So now the Terran's a little bit out of position. Is NightMare going to seize the day and go up this ramp?
Right as a nice connection there. Nova the Terran out there and just decides not to overextend. Sends a couple more Zealots into that natural base of Cure. Going to kill his Marauder that tries to deal with him. He's back into the choke. Dude, come on.
Yeah,
You just did this. Ow. All right, fine. Oh. Nova. Widowmine. Oh, man. Couple Disruptors in a lot of trouble here. But, yeah, Cure doesn't want to go through that choke either.
Yeah, NightMare's got to take the fight at some point, though. Like, you can't sit back forever. .3 is fired up for Cure. He's making a lot of those beefy Marauders, hoping to get a good engagement with his Ghosts and Marauders. He's got 7 Vikings, which is a respectable amount to help deal with the Colossus. We're seeing NightMare take an engagement, but then he backs off again, even though he was only fighting part of the Terran army. That potentially would have been the moment to push on in. He's being cautious, potentially too cautious, as he's on the ropes in this series. If he loses this game, it's over.
Yeah, he's definitely doesn't want to overextend and lose this thing. Ooh, blinks forward. Zealots eat another Widowmine. They're falling back again. 3-3 going to come in here from Cure. That's always a nice upgrade to have, especially in this matchup.
Yeah, the supply keeps growing as well for Kira. He was at 160, now he's at 180. That's going to allow him to take a better and better fight. NightMare has decided now or never, though, as he tosses out a bunch of Disruptor Novas on the army coming from behind. Colossus melted a lot of those SCVs. His force does melt during this. He tosses out a Nova. He recalls what he can. He's going to take huge losses, though. All of a sudden, he loses. He's down 50 army supply. That is a massive amount. What's he doing back at home? Warping in 7 Zealots. It's going to take more than that to stop the Terran force.
Yeah, Kira knows how much he killed. He is on his way down. Yeah, NightMare waited too long. If he was going to march up that ramp like that, he should have done it when he had a 40-50 supply lead. These storms are good. But that's pretty much it. I mean, Kira may be overreacting a bit to this. NightMare buying some time on the other side by sending those Zealots up into that 4th base of Kira's, killing some more SCVs. Kira's 27 workers.
Yeah, that is really nice. And that's not just his 4th base, that's his main base floated to a 4th location. NightMare, on the other hand, can't afford to lose a Nexus. He can't afford to get dropped in his main with a bunch of heavy tech, however. So he's warping in some Stalkers to help out. Is Kira going to commit to this anyway? There's a Stalker blink. He gets 1 full medivac. The Terran backs out. That's the best of both worlds, getting some counter damage and forcing the Terran away. The Protoss is now repositioning his army. He's still down on supply by about 40, but this is just a fraction of the Terran force. Here comes in Disruptors. There's High Templar in the Prism. He's got to be so careful. He lands big Psystorms.
Yeah, Medevac gets picked off on the way out too, and then runs into more Stalkers.
GG.
And Medevac dies. NightMare! Hey! Gets that big lead, gets that good open, and finishes.
What?
I cannot believe that. It looked like when he was down like, what, 80 supply to Cure after that attack up the ramp went terribly for NightMare.
Yeah.
He gets distracted. A couple storms kind of slow him down. The Zealots on the other side of the map causing some issues, and then NightMare is able to stabilize, get some army up, and then go, go, go.
That was
what
so impressive.
Wow.
Man, it always is a battle with NightMare, though. Trying to for him to close out the game, like he gets into such good positions, and then he's like, "It's Cure."
I thought for sure he had thrown when he went up that ramp and everything.
Yeah, I guess
he
just
lost a Colossus to a missile turret.
Yeah, I guess he just got enough economic damage done there that there was no coming back for the Terran. Hit up that Matcherino code, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Just go to that URL I linked, press the claim code button on the side, and that adds 25 cents to the prize pool just for a click. We have a little bit of a bugged event, it seems, and there's 2 claim code options there, weirdly enough.
So you can do both of them.
Yeah, why not?
I did. All right, man. Game 5. Rubber match here. Top right of Post Youth. It's Cure. He's kind of looking around like, how am I here?
Yeah, and in the bottom left, it's NightMare. I've been loving this series. This is exactly why I was like, NightMare can show us some good games.
And I was like, yeah, I guess. I was skeptical.
I
Should
mean,
not have been.
It very easily could have been a 3-0 for Cure. Just
yeah.
sometimes has the stuff, and I'm glad to say he's been able to close out at least 2 of the games, 2 out of the 4 that he's had a good start to. He just needs to have a good start in this one again and be able to close it out. Probe goes for blood.
As they want to do, but nobody as good as Cure should really lose an SCV.
No surprise that there's an expansion for both players on a map like this.
Yeah, post-youth. What do you think the map maker intended by naming it that?
That they're an old Starcraft fan.
I guess. It's like, anyone still playing this is not young anymore. You can't say that. That might be what's going on, yeah. Oh, yeah. Did we cast a game? Can't remember. I cast a game where someone didn't take this base.
Yes!
We did.
I think it took him till it was like his... I think it was Ragnarok, and it was like his 4th or his 5th base.
Yeah.
Before he finally took it.
Yeah. We were like, what is going on? Like he didn't know it was there or something. It's a free base, man. Take it. It's got gold minerals at it. It's not all gold minerals, but still.
Oh.
Early century here. That's interesting.
Oh, nice probes around.
It was alright. I mean, the Reaper died.
Well, he got the kill.
Yeah.
Double Widowmine burrowed. And the starport on the way. That's a suspicious move by the Terran. I wonder what Kier is going to be up to.
It's like Widowmine positioning for an Oracle, but that's not something NightMare's wanted to do today.
Yeah, for an potentially aggressive Protoss unit that may run up the ramp. Instead, just a hallucination moving across the map. Gonna see Kier mining away.
Yeah, knows it's 2 base. That's great. That 1 base really give him issues. He sees the Widowmine pick up. I mean, if you're not ready for this, I don't know what you're doing playing StarCraft.
Yeah. NightMare's like, I'll build a battery in the main. That'll help defend against Widowmines. Not. 2 more Widowmines are just waddling across the map. And NightMare is going to be tested with this. He knows what's coming his way. Defending it is an entirely different thing. 2 probes are pulled. There's, however, a lot of Widowmines burrowed. There's 1. It's going to get the shot off. It kills 12 probes. 2 more that walked into the main base get 18 probes down.
Okay.
And the damage is game-ending, dare I say.
Crippling. 37 to 23 workers at the end of that carnage. Yeah, it was pretty well executed by Kier.
Oh
Like, you know
my
what I
gosh.
haven't done today is getting 18 probe kills with Widowmines.
Yeah, it's
Let's
like
try to change that.
Every Terran collects on that.
Yeah.
Oh man, poor NightMare. He had 4 beautiful openings, and then there goes the last one as a disaster. He's gonna try. He's chrono boosting out probes like a madman to try and come back from this. He's on 3 bases. He's got stalkers that can potentially poke up this ramp. The stalkers make it into the main base. Eating tank shots though, 1 dies.
It's going to take some insane stalker play here to make up for that.
Oh, and here comes in the Raven. Cure with the Raven every single game. Is looking to kill some more precious probes. NightMare pulls away, loses just 1.
1.
As
It's
good
really
as
hard
it
to do much
gets.
better than that. Man, look how injured some of these probes are, though, from the Widowmine hits. They might not be dead, but... Okay, it's 38 to 13 army supply, as NightMare has really tried to rebuild that economy, which he's done.
Yeah.
But it means he's got like 4 stalkers against 2 siege things and 20 marines.
Yeah, it's Cure with 3 racks.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna have charge out, so he'll be able to warp in some zealots with the Colossus. Best case scenario, Cure overcommits into a shield battery and is like, okay, I can go for the kill. NightMare has to be all hands on defense for now, though. He's going to move out, try and intercept this Terran army a little bit. He's got sentries waiting. Softens up a siege tank. Every little bit helps. Okay, can NightMare get some god tier force fields off here?
We'll have to see. Shield battery, out of energy. Might make another one, which he's doing.
There's
Up
a couple
the ramp.
force fields. They are not god tier, though.
Just the one. We know Cure can be patient, though. He lifts the tank onto the high ground.
Oh my gosh.
In that corner. That's so good. And now he can hit the Nexus, and now there's a timer on there.
Two Colossus step forward, try and bait the Marauders. Moving closer. There are Zealots from behind that a Medivac just flew right on over, so Kier is well aware of that. There's more Zealots warped on in. NightMare pops the battery overcharge to try and save the Nexus. He's being so patient. A bit of friendly fire, trades a couple Zealots for a Marauder. I don't think that was intentional friendly fire. That was just units being pulled on into the fight. NightMare's going to decide to pull the trigger. Zealots from behind. Stalkers blink forward, try and target down the tanks. Colossus doing what they can, but their swipes are not super efficient. NightMare's pulling back. There's not enough for the Protoss. The Colossus are going down. It's decently close.
Hold on.
But there's still a tank backline, lots of Medivacs, and an almost dead Nexus.
I was going to say, I'm shocked that Nexus is alive, but it's not. It's dead. Yeah.
Poor NightMare.
God, it's just so crushing just to lose it to a Widowmine drop, too.
Yeah, he tried to make a great hold happen, but there was just no winning in that position, really.
Nope.
Poor guy. He played a beautiful series. Sure he made a couple fans today, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, taking Cure to 5 games, there's no shame in that. Just got to be more on your toes when Widowmine drops start showing up. And I mean,
GG.
yeah, it just feels so condescending to say that. Like, just work on your defense against Widowmine drops. Like, he knows. He knows that.
I mean, he'd have won the series if he didn't let those other 2 games slip away that he had a lead in.
Yeah, you're right.
So
it's not just the Widowmine drop.
It's not just the Widowmine drops.
Correct.
So that is going to be that for our second series, pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. That means we are going to get into our finals. Let me just do up that title screen real quickly. It's going to be Cure taking on Classic in a best of 7, which should be an absolute banger of a match.
Yeah, absolutely. These 2 players looking really good. Gonna be a bloodbath of epic proportions. Don't go anywhere. We've got it coming next.
Yeah, we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Stay tuned. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is finals time. A best of 7 between Cure and Classic after both players had long series. So we're going to see who's going to be able to come out on top after this long day.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had both of the best of fives go to 5 games, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice to get some really competitive early series moving into the finals. It is kind of an advantage, especially if you go first and just kind of go 3-0 and then get some time to rest. And
Yeah, definitely.
so yeah, Cure's kind of given everything he could handle by NightMare. So Classic's like, well, I've had some time to kind of sit back and relax. Let's see if you can handle my Protoss style.
Yeah, there's a decent chance Classic watched that match as well.
Hmm.
So we shall see if Kier's going to change it up at all or not. There he is in the bottom right.
And in the top left, he's still from Twisted. It's Classic. He hasn't changed clans in the last hour.
Imagine that in the middle of a tournament being like, hey guys, change clan. Make sure you make note of that.
That would be so awesome. Casters are like, what? All right. So, I don't know, man. Like, what different things can Cure do? He's probably going to Widow Mine drop. There's just no reason not to do that. Auto turret harass. He didn't really get Interference Matrix all that much during the series with NightMare. I think in one of the games he did, right?
Yeah, in one of the games. Either the first or the second. But there was no real timing attacks for Kier in that series, just because he was on the receiving end of aggression for most of it, I feel. With Classic, who may be more inclined to macro, we could potentially see Kier hitting some timing attacks with Ravens and whatnot.
That's a good point. All right. So no proxies, nothing crazy happening here. Classic's expanding, Cure's expanding. Probe coming back home after a successful scout of what Cure is up to, which is always nice. Probe gets a nice pat on the head from Classic. And then says, get back to work. Bring me those minerals. I need them. Twilight opening. Could be 2-base Blinkstalker here.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah, 2-base Blink. Either aggressive or a macro opening. Who can say?
Got a Reaper control, not losing said a Reaper to an Adept. Easier said than done. Yeah, Starport on the way. I mean, just feels very Widowmine drop opening here. Blink did get fired up by Classic. Adept really would like to stay alive. Might be allowed. No. Evaporates.
Hellions deal quite a bit of damage to those Adepts.
They do. Being light is an occupational hazard. Yeah, so this, I mean, we're just firing up a couple more gateways. We've got that Blink on the way. Cure's got the Widow Mines. He's got the Medivacs. He's gonna show up. Let's see how well Classic does against this attempt to destroy the economy.
Yeah, Classic goes for 2 gates. Well, 2... Pardon me, how many total? 3 gates in total. So very middle of the road as far as an opening goes, safe compared to a 2-gate Link expand, which is as greedy as it gets. But still very macro focused.
Absolutely.
Oh, Hellion wants this probe.
Gets it and dies. I don't know.
He sees the probe at the 3rd, so Kira, though, can pretty much safely rule out. Oh, LaughNgamez Burrow?
Man, he wanted that medevac so bad. Almost got it. Yeah. Widowmine dies. Excellent. And Widowmine's not in range to hit anything, so kind of a frustrating existence for that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Classic, just patient as ever. Waits for the Observer to come out, gets the kill, doesn't even sacrifice a probe.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
If that was me,
on top of that,
I would pick up a probe by the ankles and just throw it on that mine. To be like, get out of here.
Yeah, but it's not in range of any of those mineral patches. Not in range of the probes on gas. I mean, it's the most non-threatening Widow Mine you can have in your natural base.
Yeah, that was an incredibly mature decision by Classic.
Yes. Scouting pylon up north. We're adding our Colossus and extended thermal lance. Stim coming in here from Cure. And a third CC, yeah. You're at about 550.
Auto turrets, kill off a sentry. 1 probe, 2 probes, 3 probes. Almost a 4th.
Alright.
That's a darn good bout of harassment. Command center. Going on up.
All right, and Cure says, let's do this. Let's take a sneaky path. Just kidding. We're just poking to see if an army's coming that way. That was weird. It was very much a move out. And he's like, never mind. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you just want to poke and see if there are a bunch of stalkers sitting down there, you don't have to send your entire army, but okay. Fair enough. Alright, so Cure's 3rd base is landed, upgrading to an orbital. Classic's got a 4th base coming up at the 12 o'clock. Warp Prism finishing up the production here. And a Dark Shrine getting tossed.
Yeah, I love to see that.
I'd love to see some DT Blink. Shadow Stride would be super cool.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah, definitely.
PVTs do not go that late that often.
No, and if they do, they get DT Blink, and they're like there to snipe planetaries and stuff. Zealots are like, hey, they're into the main base there. Man, Warp Prisms have so much utility, it's crazy.
Yeah, the speed prisms are just like, good luck catching me, Vikings. Okay, Dark Shrine finishes up. Classic just gonna warp in like 3 DTs, send 1 to each base. There's no or there's 1 turret. Oh, 2 turrets, pardon me. Okay, never mind, Kira's on it.
Fourth CC coming up here from Cure. Both players pretty much on full macro. Just kind of measuring each other, taking a look. Classic's at 80 probes, man. That's a big number.
Yeah, big macro from both players. Classic being out on the map right now is very risky, I feel. Like, it's a strong army, but Cure seems to have an answer for all of it.
Yeah, he's got the Vikings for sure for the Colossus. Marines and Marauders can handle everything else. Just avoid the Disruptor shots. Cure actually making a pretty solid beeline move up top right here. Does Classic want to chase that down, or does he want to go for a base trade?
I think he's just got to sack the Nexus here.
Yeah, I mean, that's a dead Nexus. He's not anywhere near shutting that down. Every probe dead, too. Dang, Cure strikes first and strikes hard. 13 probes down, Nexus down easy, and then Cure getting accosted here by Classic. He's like, I don't really need to do this. Widowmine's connecting on Stalkers and Disruptors here. That's a little bit sloppy from Classic, too. Classic's got a bit of an attack down to the south towards third base of Cure, but that gets rebuffed by a couple siege tanks and a bunch of Marines and Marauders. Widowmine gets a head off. Always nice.
Oh, this Terran army is a little bit out of position, but it's really not when it can just beat the Protoss force. And that's exactly what it does. And that's what I was talking about Classic being out on the map with his army. Like, his force did not inspire confidence. And Cure realized that. He's like, oh, I can just kill this army you have? And with a fraction of my army, and now Classic is dead. GG.
Yo! So Cure just is like, I guess I'll move out and kill one of your bases, and if you try to stop me from killing more, I'll kill you. Solid plan. Huh. Yeah, Cure just had the... man.
Yeah, I'm like, don't move out when with 3 Colossus and 2 Disruptors and Blink Stalkers. He wasn't going to get anything done there. And it just left him horribly open.
Yeah, really tricky. And just... you just got to have the better comp if you're going to move out like that, so... meh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, if Classic's gonna beat Cure in the late game, I think it's gotta be, like, the late game with, like, carriers and whatnot.
Yeah? I don't know if Cure's gonna let him get there, though.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Yeah, that last game went from they're macroing pretty hard to like it's over real fast. I guess that's what happens sometimes when you make a bad move. All right, we're on Dynasty or Dynasty, depending on what country you're from. In the top right, pretty long rush distance. It's going to be Cure.
And in the bottom left, representing Twisted, it's Classic.
Yeah, pretty big map, all things considered in current map pool. Long way to go.
Yeah.
But Probe is starting the journey nevertheless. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Oh, this is one of the maps that just hurts my brain. With that gold minerals that you can just freely expand to, but then it's totally vulnerable to everything.
Right, which is crazy.
It's like I played a couple ladder games the other day, and I'm like, do I attack on this map? Do I try and defend and take the gold? What do I do?
Right. Does have some interesting options you can take, but it's risky for sure. We'll see. We'll see what both Cure and Classic decide to do with that.
Yeah.
I bet they're probably both just going to take their normal naturals first.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially for the Protoss, too much risk of a Reaper getting back there behind that gold mineral line and just going to town.
Although...
wow, all right. Classic's not worried about it. Interesting. Let's see how long it takes Kier to realize this is the case. I mean, he's gonna send a Reaper
Like,
across.
it's so obvious, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he wasn't making a Reaper, then maybe. But he is.
Yeah, in the era of potential tank pushes and stuff, though, it's like...
Oh, especially.
Yeah, it's... oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine trying to defend this as a Protoss. The Reaper gonna jump on up and be like, hey, you did it. Kier goes for his own gold in response. I guess that's one way to deal with it.
I like it. See, look. The Reaper is here. But shield battery, heal thyself. The Adept just deals with it. No problem. Just put an Adept on this side. It's alright. You worry too much, LaughNgamez. This is all you have to do.
Everything is fine.
Yeah. Put a shield battery on this side of the mineral line and Adept on that side of the mineral line, and you're good to go. Bring a Stalker over too, just for good measure. And then take your third base where you can get the rich Visping gas.
See,
and then you're great.
The problem is if you have ladder games that go way past their expiration date like mine, is that eventually you mine out this gold base, and then that just messes up all the pathing as well.
Right. And then you just have an open back door.
Oh gosh.
Ugh. Disgusting. Lings are running in there the whole time. What is this?
This is a Terran catching a Protoss completely off guard.
Oh my gosh. Here, what?
Oh, beautiful wall, though.
Wow. Did they not? Oh, they can get up. I thought that blocked.
I did too.
Got a
good attempt by Classic.
Recalls and the Adept and the Stalker. Okay, not too bad. Emergency beacon was lit. Not getting through that pylon anytime soon. Yeah, need them later.
Yeah, this is one of the funnest things to do as a Terran player, because it's just like the Protoss never expects it. Like, Protoss with like a couple Stalkers between like that, I guess like 3 and 4 minute mark, they're always like, I have control of the map. I have a Stalker and an Adept. What can the Terran make that can bully me away? The answer is 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions. And then a tank push. Oh gosh, Classic. Oh dear, he's so dead. Classic is a dead nerd. He can battery overcharge.
He can,
but the battery gets targeted down. The Stalker gets bounced into the air all weirdly.
Hang on.
I mean,
tank down.
That's big. Oh, I spoke too soon.
This is a weird game on a weird map, dude. Another tank shows up. Siege is a respectful distance away.
Yeah, the other tank could really cause problems, and a Liberator as well.
Oh, the Liberator's like, do I want to help? Do I want to... Yeah, I want to siege up over here. Definitely. Okay, trying to zone out the Stalkers from that direction, but they all blink in. Wipes out the tank. Liberator still here. Only 2 Stalkers survive the onslaught. Liberator's like, well, hang on.
Are warping in, but Kier can defend that, and there's no more mining on the gold.
Oh gosh, you were right. You were right the whole time. Classic has 8 army supply to 31 of Cures right now. Okay, so don't take this base.
No, never, ever, ever take this base. This base is for Terrans only. The race that has the early game siege tanks. I mean, Classic at least has another Nexus up, but... Oh my gosh, he's trying to save this, and he does get a good blink off. Kier wasn't reinforcing this consistently. There's a recall to the natural to try and save this, and he very well may. Oh my gosh.
Hang on, the gold base is alive.
It turns out this was a good idea.
Hey! I mean,
Yeah.
it's not mining from the gold, but
No.
the Nexus exists. More stalkers come in. Medevac gets killed.
Staying here against Blink Stalkers.
Making Marauders back home. Gets a probe before he gets completely wiped out. Yeah, alright, cool.
Yeah, that's
Strange.
a mistake by Cure, because you either got to reinforce your push or go home after it's done.
Right.
You did neither of those. Now, Classic is going to probably try and bully the back of Cure's mineral line. However, there's going to be siege tanks that will really make the difference when it comes to defending this.
Huh. Yeah, siege tanks make this a little bit easier. As you'll notice, these SCVs are still mining.
Cure wants this Nexus, and I think he's going to
got
get it.
There is nobody from Classic in range to stop this from happening. He's expanding up the left side. He's
Not
I'm
even a
expecting
battery
this
he
to
can
die.
overcharge.
That wouldn't matter anyway.
You're going to massacre probes. You can probably just fly over this. Your Classic's going to counterattack.
What? It's kind of working
I
too.
mean, he gets the tanks, but there's going to be a lot more bio coming on in here. Although with the tanks gone, that means he can bully this mineral line location. Can he deal with the army that the Terran has, though? Like, this is a lot of bio, and what does he have back at home? One Colossus?
Colossus and a couple Zealots he just warped in. He's going to have to recall. He scans up and sees, what the? There's nothing up there.
It is 70 to 128 supply.
Yeah. Don't expand to the gold base as your first expansion. I guess. I guess that's the lesson we learned from this game. Thank you for teaching it to us, Classic.
24 dead probes. He killed, like, 12 SCVs this game. He recalls. And he's on 36 probes. With no gold base.
35 to 12 kill death ratio on workers isn't great. Army value is 70 to 46 in favor of Cure.
Yeah, Classic is attacking again, too.
Why not?
Guess I'll try attacking. Are the SCVs going to mine that out in time for him to get across there? No. But Kier sees that. He's like, well, the door's open. No recall. Oh my gosh, this game has been a disaster for Classic.
That is so much Terran. Stalkers come in, two Colossus. They're like, what? Here's like, where is it safe? Inside your main. Reinforcing units kind of getting wiped out isn't good. He needs to pick his targets here, I think. Maybe depowering some of the tech would be nice. Going after these oh my gosh, the worker count for Classic was already so bad. Now it is 16. Stalkers going after the Vikings. One of the Colossus goes down, and GG. Cure gets game 2, goes up 2-0 in this best of 7.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, lesson is don't take that gold base first if you are Protoss especially good. All right.
Sounds about right.
Lappin Games pulls out his notepad, scribbles a note.
My solution is going to be to veto that map on ladder.
Good call.
I haven't vetoed a map in multiple seasons because I don't think I'm good enough to warrant vetoing maps, but as far as not wanting to deal with something, I think that map may be on there.
That's pretty high on the list. Yeah. My gosh. All right. Well, we're on Ghost River, which does have some places you might want to proxy or ninja, but nothing as obvious as like a gold base right out of your main. So I
Yeah.
don't think Classic should have a problem with that.
No, I don't think so. That map, yeah, that was Classic's pick too.
He's like, I like this map and I have a plan for it.
That was, it's like, did Classic drink a bunch of whiskey or something while he was waiting for Kira's series to finish?
He's like, why has no one ever tried this before?
Alright, with the happy little Carbot star, it's Kier.
And with a little angry Carbot star, it's Classic. Interesting. Speaks to the mental state of each player, perhaps?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Ah. Terran. You said
Doing
it, proxies.
Terran things. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen a proxy. Let's go. This is kind of it for Classic, right?
I mean, he went Zealot.
Right. No, I'm not saying it's over. I'm just saying if he can't defend this and he goes down 3-0,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
really tough.
100%.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
that this is a crazy big proxy. This is like a 2018 build.
Okay.
Where Terrans would just proxy Arax every game. Even just to
one.
build one Reaper and then float it.
Fun. Who started doing that?
Well, it was back when Maru won like 4 GSLs in a row.
Probably Maru. He gets a probe because he showed up early. Showing up
Yep.
early gets you good stuff.
If you get more than 2, that's considered good for this build.
1 isn't great.
No, there is another Reaper on the way, so he is committing a little bit more to this. We'll see if he makes a Hellion. Nope, going to be a Cyclone behind this. He's got to defend this Zealot. Going to burn some money repairing this. That's nice for Classic that he did just blindly go for the Zealot. That's a really good start for him. Reaper's going to go to the natural. No probes there, though. A Stalker about to pop out. Time to go, Classic. Time to go, Zealot. I don't think he chose the right time to go. Okay, there we go.
Poor thing. Yeah. Gets 1 probe. Feeling fancy. 2 Reapers and a Cyclone isn't exactly traditional.
Yeah,
Kier's getting a second base.
Oh, he uses the Cyclone to the Reapers to get the high ground vision.
Kills the Adapt,
He
but
doesn't go
now
into the
both
main base,
Reapers are
though.
super because the Stalkers are showing up.
Yeah, but there would have been nothing in the main had he gone in. I guess he couldn't have known that, but...
It's a good point. Didn't want to risk it. But yeah, I think you're correct. That was probably the right move to go in there once the Adept died.
Yeah, real cutesy play by Kier. Still gets the Adept. Gets out with the Reapers.
He did so much work to kill that Adept, too.
Okay, we see Classic wanting to get aggressive against his opponent, throwing up a forward pylon. There's no natural base on location for Kier. He built that inside his main. Now he's floating it over. Classic scouts that and is like,
Is this a one base play? What is happening?
Yeah.
Widowmine's burrow with the natural. Nobody goes down. And unburrow, reburrow, unburrow, reburrow, unburrow. Burrow, pick up, evac, and not die. Nice controlled there by Cure. Classic pokes in again, sees there's a base now, and says, I could have sworn there wasn't a base 10 seconds ago.
The main has to be abandoned. The natural is abandoned because of Reapers and the Cyclone. This is multi-prong harassment by Cure. The probes are going back into the Widowmine field. 9 go down.
9. That could have been so much worse.
The command center, though.
What? You're gonna lose it. It's dead. Oh, this game is a bloodbath already.
Man.
10 probes die. An entire orbital gets killed by stalkers. What?
Wow, Kier just starts another one too. I was gonna say he's gonna have to pull out some more of his one-base magic like he did against NightMare.
He decides not to.
Yeah, he eats a huge supply block during that too. Drops a supply call down, and he's still supply blocked.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling. Classic's like, you know, I think we got this. The Widowmine drop hurt us, but we're ready for further Widowmine droppage. We can do that. Yeah, Kier's just trying to get upgrades while he's in here, while he was supply blocked, getting combat shield. Now he's firing at Marines, siege tanks, medevacs, all sorts of good stuff. All sorts of goody stuff here.
Beautiful kiting on the stalkers. There's no blink. Classic is going to delay a push as much as possible, though.
Did lose a stalker there. That's not ideal. Shield battery coming up. He sees that Cure is on the way. Jiff on his mind. Microing. He's doing like Warp Prism micro with a medevac. That's fun. Yeah, force the siege up, pull back. Force the siege up, pull back.
Yeah.
PvT for as long as Starcraft has existed.
This is buying so much time, and Kier says...
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably what Kier's saying right now. What can you hit here? A geyser? Well, apparently a Robo Bay, because the Protoss builds it in a horrible spot. Oh, he kills it too. Essentially a gateway. Classic realized that he just built and lost his Robo and doesn't restart it. A counterattack is going down by the Protoss as there's basically nothing to defend at home for the Terran. This is going to put Kier, make him go on a death march. He's got to wait till he breaks through these rocks, so then he's got to play the shuffle game with his tanks. I just don't see that happening here.
No, this is insane. The second orbital in this game is going to die. On the other side, 4 siege tanks are ripping these stalkers apart. Marines helping a lot with their combat shield. No saving that second orbital, but Cure's like, I can win a game with one base. Don't you test me.
Yeah,
however,
he's gonna try because he's got no option. There's the recall from Classic. However, he recalls into a big tank line. The Raven drops 3 turrets at once. If he's gonna make this push work, that is how.
The Immortals all died. The last siege tank is here. It gets picked off, but a lot of Marines remain.
No.
Auto turret is up. This natural base of Classic is in a lot of trouble. Trying to micro with stalkers against these Marines as well as he can. It's a bit of a nightmare. But a couple Zealots joining the party. I think Cure's just going to run out of steam, and he is. He's forced to retreat out of the position.
Look at this,
does not lose
though.
the stalker, but what is this? Where do these guys come from?
That is a lot more dudes. Oh, man. Classic, he's trying to rebuild probes right now. He's building a Twilight. He needs nothing but units, a new battery, and here's Stim Marines for the Protoss to deal with. There's no blink, keep in mind, for these stalkers. Is Cure gonna pull this one off? Pull a rabbit out of his hat? And I think he is, as Classic tries to target down the tanks. He fights before the Immortal is done. It's a one-base wonder as Kier takes the 3-0 lead.
That is insane. He lost 2 orbital commands in 9 minutes and wins the game. That's not how this should work at all. That is not how this path forward should go.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. How Kier was able to pull that off. I was getting ready to talk about a classic, like, oh, okay, he's not dead in this series just yet. And yeah, amazingly done by Kier.
I mean, it helped. He had all those dudes sitting in his main base, ready to move across the map once Classic recalled home.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really looked like Kier just didn't have anything going, but then bam, he had stuff. He was macroing back home. He had his production alive, and he sent it, and it's not a long rush distance. And he gets there, and ka-chow. John Solo says that was gross, and it was. It was kind of a really gross win for Terran. Protoss everywhere just shaking their heads like, how? How did that happen? We killed 2 orbital commands.
Yeah. Yeah, Protoss generally do not lose games that they kill the Terrans first, then second orbital.
No, that never happened. Whoa.
Well, he's looking like he's gonna seal the deal, potentially. It's Kier.
And in the top left, it's classic, one of my favorite map types. Top left versus bottom left.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I guess Classic in that last game maybe should have just attacked on in. Recalled to the main base. Built another battery. I don't know.
My gosh, I am just speechless about that last game still. Classic's still got to be feeling that.
Yeah, I am flabbergasted as far as what to say. And players do occasionally get demoralized in these events, in these online cups. They lose a couple maps and then it's like a downhill spiral. So, yeah, we'll see. If Classico is going to bring it back, I feel like that was the map. He had the lead. He killed the orbital twice, and now it's like, well, time to show your class as a pro Classic. That you can win 4 games in a row, no matter how potentially tilted you are. What in tarnation?
Sure. He's like, 2 Reapers did it for me in the last game. Killed an Adept. Also, we had a Cyclone. But still, we could have a Cyclone here pretty soon with this factory.
Yeah. 2 Reapers, Hellion. Like before, if he goes for this attack again, I'll be very happy. Well, I do like this strategy. It's one of those things that can completely catch Protoss off guard.
Right.
And it feels good as a Terran player, because you're like, Protoss are like, oh, I got my Adept, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
And you're like, well, Reapers and Hellions.
It works surprisingly well. Adept, power walking, like, please leave me alone.
Yeah, she's like, uh-oh, uh-oh. Start the car.
Tries to get the high ground here. Good micro on that Reaper.
It survives, though.
It did, because that Reaper pulled back. It was good, man, great setup there.
Yeah, Kier can go up this ramp Where's the Oracle going? Is it going to stay defensively? Looks like it is. That is so important here. It's got a lot of work to do, though. Cure sends those units running for their lives.
Very good.
Oracle.
Yep. Phoenix on the way behind it, which is fun.
Cure's gonna try again.
I don't know, with an Oracle overhead.
It doesn't have energy. Doesn't have much energy, but
It's still a major threat. That Phoenix lifting your stuff too. I like it. I like this response from Classic. It's like, none of your stuff can shoot up, right?
yeah. Yeah, the Oracle is really good.
There it is. This is what I was expecting.
And now it's out of energy.
It is, but taking down a Reaper and a Hellion without taking any damage on the other side is pretty great.
We see Kira going for a drop on the other side of the map. 4 Marines and a Cyclone. To deal with it, there's potentially an Adept, 2 Phoenix, and the Oracle that is low on energy. So it's not going to be an easy hold. Oh, Classic just, or Kira just unloads here, interestingly enough. Sees this location being mined out, actually goes for the probes that are doing the mining. And then gets out of town.
Medevac does survive. Cyclone, that's a lot of Marines chasing those guys out of there. Colossus going to join the party here next. Classic on the follow-up, getting a third Nexus warp in too.
Yeah, everything looks pretty good on paper for our Protoss. He's defended where he needed to defend.
Yeah, I like it. The Phoenix and the Oracle are working together. I mean, the problem is when like 4 Cyclone and 20 Marines show up, but that's what the Colossus are for. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Classic's got this all planned out like a boss. Stim combat shield +1, the holy trinity of upgrades for this stage of the game. Oh, hop over that force field. You filthy casual. It kind of feels like Reaper should be able to, honestly. Take that, debris.
Ooh, a fleet beacon. I like this, as Classic can play the defensive game and do a slow crawl towards Carrier Colossus. He could be in a really great spot. Kira lands his third. His economy isn't amazing compared to the Protosses. It's not terrible.
Yeah.
Double starports finished up. 4 Vikings at a time will be an answer to Kier's problems in the Colossus, in the potential air units down the line.
Yeah, Phoenix really have no answer there. Oracle's less so, as usual. It does pick up a nice little SC.
Yeah.
5 SCVs down total. Good harass. Tempest getting fired up here from Classic pretty early. Sub 10 minute Tempest is interesting.
Yeah, Tempest are really bizarre. Is he just going to try and abuse the map here?
I don't know.
Alright, Bioforce of Cure is getting bullied away.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like what I see here. Phoenix lift and killing some pretty good units, honestly. Phoenix providing value as they usually do.
Yeah, that's got to give a lot of confidence to the Protoss player. The Terran, Cure, has barely got his third base saturated. Like, he's mining the gas to make lots of Vikings and whatnot, but as far as raw income goes, it's not as good as he'd like. He's making more SCVs, making 4 Vikings at a time pretty much. He doesn't even have that much of a ground army because of how many Vikings he's making.
Right. But hey, there's Tempest to deal with, so hey.
Yeah, Tempest and Colossus, you're never going to go wrong making Vikings.
No. Designed for that very purpose. Moderate gold base taken here on the left side. Yeah, this idea of having kind of split regular mineral, gold mineral bases is interesting.
Yeah, I like it on this map how it's the middle map bases.
Yeah. Riskier to take as usual, but like not as much of a reward as a pure gold base would be. So this is where the Vikings can kind of abuse the map a little bit. Yeah, these Phoenix want to fight this? I don't know about that, guys.
Yeah, there is no ship weapons for these Vikings yet, as the armory is just building now for Kier.
And now classics into carriers. All right.
Yeah, it's 14 Vikings, so that is a huge count. See if Kier goes for a 4th base soon. I really gotta respect Kier for just his ability to do a slow build-up into an army that he then kills the Protoss with. It's like, yeah, sure, the Protoss is building up, but I got soon to be 20 Vikings. That one observer for Classic is really nice, however, Scan deletes that.
My goodness. Yeah, space is looking nice. Multiple pylons, shield battery, cannons, not easy to break. Mothership finishing up the warping. And yeah, Classic's got to feel real comfortable. Maxed out, carrier tech, mothership, tempests.
Yeah, that's going to be a 5-base Protoss as well.
Yeah, that's big.
A Terran who's just starting his 4th base, not even on location. Kier is really putting it all in one big fight. Like, he is so committed here for a big victory. Oh, another observer, though, sees exactly this. Classic has got to be like, how many Vikings are you building, man? Stasis gets seen. Does get one of the ghosts, though. And yeah, Kier is saying it's fighting time. He's pulling the Protoss down the ramp. The only AoE is the Colossus to deal with the bio. If they get targeted down or zoned out, they will not help in a fight.
The cloak gets popped. It's a time thing now.
Time
Warp tosses up your 2. Mothership that's a no, it doesn't matter as much. One volley on the carriers too. And once all the sky stuff is done, I'm not sure there's enough stuff on the ground. And this is the answer to Sky Toss. Just a million Vikings. GG. Yo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, spend all that money on Mothership, carriers, Tempest. None of this is cheap.
Yeah.
And then Terran's just like, just make 100 Vikings?
There's a reason why Protoss usually adds Psystorm, Disruptors, and doesn't move down a ramp into a bunch of Terran Vikings.
Right.
GG. That was Afreeca World 113.
Ooh, that was a crazy, crazy best 4-0 for Cure. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely great.
That was really nutty. An awesome match between, well, I wouldn't lie. It was a stomp between Cure and Classic. However, we had 2 great best of 5s before it. NightMare versus Cure was my highlight of the night, personally.
It's super fun.
Those were
definitely
amazing games, and we'll definitely look to have all these players back in Afreeca World at some point. And hopefully, you guys who are watching will come back next time too. You can ensure you do that by checking out Falcon Paladin and I on Twitter, or join our Discords, or check out our YouTube channels.
Yeah, we're pretty much out there all the time. But thanks to everybody who used the coupon code John Solo, Aki, Eat Peas, Phoenix with the $20 direct contribution to the prize pool, which is awesome stuff. And yeah, we'll be back in a couple weeks probably. Again, watch us on Twitter/X for more information. Until then, thanks for being here, and we will catch you next time.
Yeah, thanks so much to everyone for tuning in. It was a fun one. We'll see you in roughly 2 weeks. Take care and have a good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.